stuff
Yeah,
down happen last time.
So much fun. It's super duper fun. I'm so glad that our older sister has eyes of confusion.
I have no idea what they do. A
I'm
memory
calling them eyes
eraser?
of
I don't know.
confusion. I'm calling them eyes of confusion because his
Until we're
memories came back,
Right.
but
Until we are told what they are called.
they are eyes of confusion.
Sure.
I am confusion.
Oh, cool.
Why is this Kansas, but this one is not Arkansas?
Anyways.
Right. Before we talk about my sister, I have to explain the Aozaki family, and more importantly, magecraft versus magic. We're gonna cover a lot of ground, and it'll include stuff you can't tell anyone. We can always wipe your memory later, so it's fine. Aoku made sure to add that disclaimer as a condition for telling him the information in the first place.
Fair enough.
You see, Sojiro, magecraft follows a set of common rules. There are different schools of magecraft, such as runes or Kabbalah. Think of them as different textbooks or manuals that the whole world uses.
Ah.
So like college.
Yeah. Runes are the magecraft that are the magecraft of from Nordic countries and Celtic mythologies. Characters like Caster Cuckoo Lane use runes, and Skahawk.
And Olga Marie before she passed
and
away.
Olga Marie before she died.
Before she perished into the sun.
into Caldeus, yes. Kabbalah. Kabbalah refers to specific techniques based around the concept of numbers holding specific magical values.
Mm-hmm.
And that is from more, I think, Middle Eastern cultures. Stuff like Golomancy from of Avispron, or I guess fittingly for somebody a kind of magecraft that is attributed to gifting life to inanimate objects. Michael Roa Valdemjong's lightning is actually based on Kabbalah.
Fair.
But yeah.
Frankenstein magic.
Somewhat. It's not exactly. It's close. But homunculi are made using alchemy rather than Kabbalistic techniques. I know way too much about this universe.
Hey, you're passionate about it, and I enjoy learning about it, so...
Fair enough.
We're all good. It's fine. Anyone that has a proper textbook and a suitable bloodline can become a mage. But using magic is something entirely different. Is something else entirely. Magic, true magic, isn't just some manuscript derived from the swirl of the root like magecraft is, but something that comes directly from the root itself.
You know it's powerful when it has the asterisk surrounding it.
Right.
That's what makes it italicized on Discord.
Exactly. I just imagine Sojiro going, "So you guys garden?" Do you guys pray in front of a tree?
Where's the roots?
Are the roots underneath the house? Because I promise I didn't touch them.
Of course. Thank you, Sojiro.
There's a picture that I found when I was looking for background stuff, and it's a picture of Sojiro being outside, and he looks like he's bent over, and now all I can imagine that image is of him trying to find the roots. I'm sure that's not what that is, and we'll come across it eventually. But I just think that's really funny.
Bro was
Just the
trying
thought
to
of him
find
being
the
like,
root.
I get it. I got it. I'm gonna be outside for about 3 hours. Give me a second. Don't even worry about it. As for the swirl of the root, well, the simplest way I can describe it so you'll understand is to compare it to the sun. The sun is really far away and has been there from the beginning, as far as we're concerned. Without it, you and I wouldn't be able to live. Magecraft merely lets us take advantage of the sun's benefits, so to speak. Magecraft is all about imitating or paying for natural phenomena. We can use it to study, practice, and recreate mysteries, but it can never truly create them. Actually, no matter how much you learn, you eventually hit a wall. It's like a limiter that human knowledge can never overcome.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
Truly, it do.
Unfortunate, but, you know, well, whatever.
Oh.
What are you gonna do?
Become an actual magical person? Who knows?
We in the business call those people magicians. The business.
The business.
The business.
Yeah. What's your business called? Magical people?
Mage. The Mages Association. Sure.
Sure.
The clock tower.
And beyond that wall is where magic, the sun itself, exists. So there's like the ozone layer between magic and magecraft.
You know what? That's actually like a pretty apt description.
I gave an apt description!
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, because there's like a thin veil between the two, so that would be the ozone layer,
Right.
with magic being the true sun and magecraft being the earth.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
the ozone layer.
I guess magecraft in that way would be like solar panels powering a house. I guess.
Yeah, a human who can do magic is basically a walking solar panel.
Who is like right next to the sun.
Yeah. Hi, Seven.
Hello.
Or Witch on the Holy Nighting.
For,
Yeah, I was
you know, a
surprised.
little bit.
I was surprised you guys were doing Witch on the Holy Night.
Yeah, it's a little early, so.
To attain it means to go where no one can go. And awaken miracles no one could possibly reproduce.
Alko is explaining magic versus true magic at the moment.
Yeah, fair enough.
A technique to make things happen that humanity could never hope to accomplish with any amount of time or resources. That's true magic.
Once again, italicized on Discord.
That's why you know you need to put emphasis on the word.
I would have put 2 sets. Bold it.
I would have put 3 on each side, to be fair. Bold and italicized.
Exactly.
It's about overcoming the dimensional wall-like... Yeah, it's about overcoming the dimensional wall-like, running until you reach the end, when you find a world with completely different rules from ours. That's the only way you can, well, learn it. I told you before that magecraft has no limits, right? Well, I meant that it has no limits within the scope of human knowledge. Meanwhile, magic has lots of limits, as in, it can only do one thing. and one thing alone. Makes sense, right? I mean, we're talking about unique rule-breaking concepts and mechanisms that exist outside the boundaries of the very universe.
Fair enough. It does that. I mean, granted, it does that one thing, one very specific thing very well, to the point that you can apply it in many, many different situations, but it'd be like that.
I just imagine Sojiro just nodding and like that meme of the kid nodding and putting his thumb up. That's Sojiro currently.
Yep. Whatever you say.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Got it. I don't got it.
Absolutely. I don't understand anything.
Ah, I see. Doesn't see it all.
I see, says the blind man. Oh look, there it is.
So, magic is more amazing than magecraft. I think I get the general idea, but it's really limited?
Kinda. It's more like an exception, a special privilege, or an abuse of power.
Oh my god, it's an admin. It's an admin. You've been given admin powers. You've been given mod. Welcome to my Discord server.
I mean, their house is kind of like a Discord server, to be fair. They have all of the rooms are different chat boxes. The room they're currently in is a voice channel.
Oh my god.
Their house is just a Discord server.
Sure.
It's called the Kuwanji Mansion. Keith, if you ever make a Fate like server like we talked about previously, make it called the Kuwanji Mansion, please. Please. It's not versatile, but in making the impossible possible, it's all powerful as far as magecraft is concerned. Magic is like a reward a mage gets when reaching the swirl of the root, and that even goes for mages who don't possess the metal to... That's a weird way to spell metal, right? That's...
like to metal? The metal? Like the strength, right?
Well, no, I just want to make sure I'm saying it correct, because I think that's the word.
Yeah,
metal.
yeah, metal. Yeah.
Okay. The metal to wield it. Just making a path to the root gives them free reign to use it, in magecraft terms. In short, it's like becoming the richest person in the world.
I guess so.
Sojiro made an appreciative sound. Impressed.
Oh.
On the other hand, Alice looked as though she wished to make many revisions to Aoko's account. She looks very unhappy.
You get a passing grade, but I'm not happy about it. I suppose
C+
D's get degrees.
At most. C+ at most. D- at best.
The richest person in the world. In which case, does it mean that no matter how rich you are, only the richest person gets to have magic?
I guess so. Sure. Sometimes you sure get to the right conclusion from the weirdest of places. It's like you said, there are many routes and theories to reach the root, but unless you're first to the post, magic will elude you. No matter how good you are, if you're not the first, you're everyone else.
Yeah, I guess that's why there's so much competition and so much secrecy.
There are only 4 magicians.
No, this one's a little bit new to me. I'm not very familiar with the people who have actually attained true magic.
Let's find out. And there are only 4 because once the path to the root has been taken by one magician, It's closed off to all the others. Oh, so you have to find a different route.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why,
I get it now.
yeah, that's why for the most part, no, even though you can, like, teach somebody your own magecraft, you can't exactly, somebody who's, like, you know, has the aptitude for it, at least, even though you can, like, pass that down and everything, there is only one specific route to magic, and so only the magician is able to utilize it. There's some theories on, like, if the power of that magic can be passed down through bloodlines, although exclusively bloodlines from that one specific mage, or rather magician, but that from my understanding, that's how it works.
But it wasn't always like that in ancient times. Ironically, mankind is responsible for closing off the paths to the root. We've built walls that stand between us and the truth. The mages of the old could never have imagined that the more we explored the unknown, the more paths we would seal off. But the result was exactly that. And by the time they realized it, it was too late. After all that studying, true magic had all but disappeared from the world. I need to blow my nose.
So it's kind of like how the city has dwarfed the countryside then.
In a microscopic sense, that example works. So, up until recently, modern mages have been vying for the final seat in the game of magical musical chairs, but some country bumpkins snagged it a while ago, so their little race is over. After that, all further research into the root was limited to mundane and meaningless magecraft. Who's the country bumpkin? Though only a small fraction of mages were chasing magic anyway, while the rest had already thrown in the towel. Magic gained from reaching the swirl of the root. Magic gained from reaching the swirl of the root isn't necessarily a mage's only goal.
It's a fair lot of them's goal, but fair enough.
That's a whole other convoluted mess in itself. The chicken or the egg dilemma, if you will.
Okay. Well, I at least understand that I understand absolutely nothing. Do you mind if we get to the point? Oh, right. How can there be multiple wielders of true magic if only the first one can learn it? Or if only the first one there can learn it?
Well, there were 5 at one time. There were 5 final tasks left to humanity, so the first... Alco? Great! To the point. Now that I've explained the relationship between magecraft and magic, I can finally talk about my family.
No, Alco, please! I wanna know! Me!
I had a thought, so what if at the end of this Sotaro dies and he's the one with true magic and he passes it on to Aoko? And that's how she learns true magic.
Bro, I'd be sad.
I would be so fucking sad. But this is a Nasuke.
Yeah, fair.
And I feel like by the end of this, we will be crying. So
it'd be like that.
Because she said a country bumpkin, and I'm maybe that's like a diversion. But the only country bumpkin we know of, one of them, is our boy here, Sodero. And he's got those weird scars on his arm. He said he was attacked by wild dogs, but what if he somehow found the root?
Interesting. I mean...
And what if instead of wild dogs, he was attacked by another mage?
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Fair enough. As of right now, we don't really have a lot of information to work off of for Sotro's weird backstory, but
Yeah. I would like
that is
to
certainly
I
a
would like
thought.
to learn more about my boy, please.
Me too. Same.
Can we know more? I just listen, we don't even know if he has parents.
No, yeah, no one is like. Granted, Alco and Alice aren't really interested in like whatever he's doing,
Yeah.
but me, I am.
I am. Like, we're both very intrigued by this boy.
Please.
Please give me my boy. Remember when I mentioned that the Aozaki family has been mages for generations? Our history isn't ancient, but we've been blessed with good luck and talent. Because somehow or another, an Aozaki finally attained true magic.
Oh.
Probably her grandpa.
Probably. Yeah, considering that he doesn't really. Well,
I mean, she went to him to resurrect a cat.
true. And she did call him a magician, I think, right? Or did she call him a mage?
No, I think she called him a magician.
Right.
I don't know. We'll have to look back at her notes.
Yeah, we'd have to look back way back. That's literally like the first episode.
Yeah, it's fine. When you go on your little break, I'll go look. When you come back, I'll tell you.
All right. Hold on just a second, Aozaki. So you mean...
I'm an apprentice mage, nothing more. I can't wield magic, nor do I want to. I'm just a successor to the Aozaki family.
Okay, but it would be real cool, though.
Can you pull a rabbit out of a hat? Alco asserted obtusely, her voice devoid of emotion. She became a mage not to wield magic, but simply because the succession of her family's magecraft was forced on her. Anyway, in order to reach the swirl of the root, generations upon generations of mages have to dedicate their lives to research. Since every special snowflake is trying a unique approach and doesn't want to share, it obviously takes forever.
Yeah, that's a thing about about Nasuverse Magecraft. Magecraft is treated like a science, but unlike actual science, no one peer reviews anything because they don't want to share how their particular Magecraft works, because that could endanger both their family and their Magecraft itself.
Yeah. Them talking about this just reminds me of the Lord Elmaloy the second episode, where like the dad gets like cut up into a bunch of pieces, but he did it himself.
Right, that was like episode 2, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I think it was
like
really
one
early
of
on.
one of the first ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what this is reminding me of.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Just didn't want to fucking share anything, so he just yoinked himself.
Yeah, not even to his own like child.
Like
It'd be like that. Magecraft is not a fun culture.
No, it is not. It's so fun. At any rate, you can't create magic unless you have the innate ability to, or through some sort of divine intervention. We don't talk to those bastards. Just making it to the root isn't enough. If you lack a worthy heir to pass it on to, the miracle stops there. So much for your lineage. That's why mages cultivate their bloodlines, to pass magical energy through one generation to the next, and create an heir more powerful than oneself.
At least that's why most of them do it.
That's what...
Sometimes they just like cut themselves up into pieces in order to maintain immortality.
But they're not Roa, so they're not Michael Roa and Vaunam Jean.
Skill issue, truly.
Alco wrapped up the explanation by remarking that it was like producing a thoroughbred. Woof woof. Not that Sojiro knew what a thoroughbred was to begin with, leaving him as perplexed at the end of the story as he was at the beginning. So mages pass along their uniquely created mystics to later generations, protecting their legacy in the process. And at the very end, they said that there should be an answer sufficient enough to satisfy all of one's questions. But you see, mages, no, magicians too, all understand one very important thing. Their one generation, and every single one therefore after, will all die before they ever reach their ultimate goal. There is no pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
Unless you are there at the end of the rainbow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that sucks.
Mm-hmm. My grandfather always used to say that it was the destiny of those who obsess over mystics to end up learning only magecraft. Funny how my sister didn't turn out like that. She turned out insane. She left out, I can see why, hanging in the air. Alice had no response. The Aozaki family passing down true magic. Haoko, the reluctant successor. And Toko Aozaki, her elder sister. Actually, my sister was the Aozaki heir. They told me about the family legacy, but I never had to learn any of it. For mage lineages, unless they're super rich, they usually only raise one heir. I guess that wasn't the case for an average income household like ours. Successors are supposed to be chosen based on their affinity for magecraft, and in that sense, my sister was definitely a prodigy. But her talent just wasn't fit for an heir, for whatever reason. Instead, I turned out to be more suited to succeed in. And while I don't really agree with him, my grandmother seemed dead set on switching it over to me during the winter when I was 15. To my sister, I suddenly stole her entire birthright, while not only being four years younger, but also lacking any magical knowledge.
Wow. Only 15?
That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, not only is that sucky for like both of them, that also means that Aoko has only been training in magecraft for 1 year.
Yeah.
Which seems like a longish time. But like, in terms of like magecraft, that is not a lot.
Especially considering her sister basically was training since she fell out the womb.
Right.
And her sister is like in her 20s?
Yes, I think I think in her 20s. I don't know if it was like late 20s or mid 20s, but like she's definitely a good few years older than her.
Yeah. She at least in her 20s.
Yes.
So that's fun. It's super fun.
Oof. So they've been fighting a losing battle since she got here.
Yeah.
Like, Aoko's a prodigy, right? But like, she's also very inexperienced with using and doesn't really know much about. She knows like the basics pretty down pat, but she's not really great at the Well, it's not that she's not great at the execution. She doesn't know enough to execute it flawlessly each and every time.
Yeah.
And like, I guess Alice is kind of doing most of the heavy lifting here.
Yeah. And Alice really isn't helping teach her, which is what I assume she was put in that house to do.
I mean, she is to an extent, but like,
But not in like an actual like I'm teaching you kind of way,
Yeah,
more of like a you stupid, this is how you do it kind of way.
Yes. It's a Zoom class.
Yeah.
It's a self-paced Zoom class.
Yes, yes it is.
Fantastic.
So it's fun.
I see. So that's why.
She'd said that she was obligated to take what was Alco's. Toko's words from not moments ago, her voice full of resentment as she spoke them. I'm not her, so I don't know how she feels about the whole thing. It's been 3.5 years since she fought with grandfather, smashed her glasses, and left her home. No one has heard from her since then. I became her replacement. I guess this is why we're squabbling. Sojiro thought the story was tragic, but Ako's voice had a tone of relief in it. Sojiro did not know exactly why he should feel bad for anyone.
She broke her glasses? So she broke her first pair of glasses, and then made a new pair of Mystic Eye Killers, then also broke those.
Yes. Fun.
Why is she so extra?
Absolutely extra. It's important to her, I suppose. I mean, she's got tights that look like they blend in with her shoes, alright?
Fair enough.
Correct. Her eyesight has always been perfect. The bitch was even born with mystic eyes. But in trying to live up to her grandfather's expectations, she probably overdid it with her eyes. Overdid it, and her eyes suffered as a result.
Ah. I see. It's a lesser extent of what happens to a person when they have eyes of depth perception.
Yeah.
Definitely not to the degree that like Shiki has, because like his eyes are literally killing him.
Yes. He looks at people for more than like what 2 minutes, and he starts getting his anemia attacks.
Yes.
And then, you know, she seemed fine during that whole conversation.
Oh
so.
yeah, no, she was mostly fine during the whole conversation. And then even
she was
after
kind of losing it, but
she was kind of losing it. Like even after she like, you know, deliberately used them on Sojiro, she was pretty fine.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just a little headache, slight migraine, just a tad.
A little titty tad. Alco wrestled with the memory, not sure if she had everything down exactly right. Sojiro knew how well Alco could hide her emotions. And this was not one of those moments. You know, now that I think about it, was Toko trying to give him a message? Why did she throw her glasses at my grandfather? And she could have smoked him with a single fin shot.
So she has the same bullet technique that Alco has.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Familial.
Yeah.
She was in her prime back then, so she could have wiped a senile old man out in an instant if she had wanted to.
So she's not in her prime anymore? Are you sure?
Are you sure about that?
Are you sure?
She was in her true prime. You know, like Noelle, when she becomes crazy.
Oh my god.
Sojiro shook his head, disappointed at Alco's misjudgment of the situation.
Can't wait for the CL route.
No, it's gonna be super duper.
Yeah, it's almost done.
I'm so excited.
Tsukihime is almost done translating it too. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be super awesome.
This ain't about any grudge. Those glasses, they were important to her. It was a symbol of all of her efforts that everyone could see. To break them like that, it must have been painful. Painful enough for her to feel like she had to break them.
As Sojiro spoke, neither Alku nor Alice noticed the grief he was fighting to hold in. Or more accurately, they could not understand his point of view. After all, in a world where mages are raised to fight other mages, empathy was in short supply. I wonder why she chose to come back now. Like Alko said, Toko could have taken Misaki City at any time she wanted.
Maybe she deliberately wanted to wait for Alko to have like a twinge of the power she possessed and then take it away from her.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
That's probably what it is, right?
Like, get a taste of what she had and then yoink it and prove that she's more powerful.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
Yeah.
That's
probably,
things.
yeah, that's probably why she waited a whole year, you know?
Mm-hmm. Technically, hasn't she been waiting like almost 4 years? If she left 3.5 ago.
True.
Yeah.
True. If she left already then, but then...
you know what it probably is? She left 3 years ago, waiting for them to call her and be like, no, come back, you're our successor. And then heard that that they gave it to Alko, and then was like, you bitch, and was preparing. She took the year to prepare, and then was like, I'm going to take everything from you.
I see. Perhaps.
That's my thought process.
I mean, that makes sense.
That's right. If she wanted this land so badly, she could have come back 3 years ago, killed me, and reclaimed her rights. Maybe she had a change of heart after seeing the world? I don't know.
You really don't get it, do you, Naozaki?
Sojiro shook with a faint anger. His voice changed from a boy they thought they knew. And you do?
Yeah, like anyone would. Toko was waiting for you to become a fully fledged mage, so you would lose the same thing that was stolen from her. That's how deep her hurt and hatred goes. Whew. So yeah, we were right.
Yay! Sojiro gazed at them, wondering why they could not see what he could. Because he's a soft boy. He sees the world through soft eyes. Only, he was the one that did not understand. What? The two girls, and above all Toko Azaki, denied themselves the type of relationships that other normal people are allowed to experience. Toko's actions were not fueled by hatred. While there certainly was hatred behind them, the real reason was, and always has been, Toko's pursuit of true magic.
Okay.
She was an ambitious and talented mage. Her hatred was only her veneer. Thinking of her in any other way would be an insult to the elder sister who devoted her life to the study of magecraft. All of this, Aoko wanted to tell Sojiro, but instead stopped herself. Even if she had, Sojiro was not a mage and could never understand, and besides, arguing with him any further would not have brought her any joy. You know, like giving him a collar. She would not have put it into words, even if she had tried. And so... You sure? You sure are talking? You sure are taking her side a lot, Sojiro. Could it be love at first sight? In her own cowardly way, Aoko dodged the subject. She smirked childishly.
I get how she feels, a little. I pity her.
Sojiro did not take the bait. Ako was frustrated at his reply. And why, might I ask? An icy glare replaced her smile. He did not falter, only painfully stating,
Because she has to fight her only sister. That's sad, isn't it?
that was the source of his frustration. It's sad, alright. Ako's eyes narrowed unconsciously, as if hiding from a painful truth. This guy is a poison, she thought to herself. A poison with no antidote. With his words, he was unwittingly bringing her weakness to light. My sister and I don't think of it in that way, though. To us, this was always the way it would turn out. Sojiro looked down and frowned in defeat.
And that's sad too.
He muttered. Click, clack, click, clack. The curtains of night had already fallen. Not even an hour had passed since Toko left the estate, and Sojiro was feeling the distance between him and the girls. Aoko and Alice had felt much the same way about Toko Awazaki, who seemed more elusive than a phantom. Danny Anyway, Sojiro, you at least understand that she's our enemy, right? If so, stop arguing with me and let's Sleeping Bears lie. Although, after meeting you, she must have realized that you have nothing to do with us. So I doubt we need to worry about her going after you. That's a lie. You gave him a collar. He's yours now. In her eyes. Aoko seemed absolutely certain in her assessment, as if to proclaim that Sojiro had dodged a bullet. Strangely, she was placing her trust in her enemy's sense of reason. Too bad.
Really? Are you sure about that? I hope you're right.
Really? Really? So relax. She never paid any attention to things that were of no use to her anyways.
Okay. If you say so, Aozaki, then that's good enough for me. Oh, right. Speaking of things she has no use for, Toko took your teacup. The nice, Savra one?
Sevres?
Sevres?
She did what? And you just stood by and let her?
I did. So she really was stealing it after all, huh?
Sojiro nodded sagely while Aoko fumed. She wondered where his serious manner and tone had gone. Sojiro's frustrating absent-mindedness had returned. It had to be the Severus cup too! My favorite one! Aoko's fist trembled violently, But as much as she wanted to, she knew better than to plant it into Sojiro's carefree face. Not that he was even capable, but even if Sojiro did try to stop Toko, it would have gone tragically for him. Nothing to do now, I guess. She always did have a habit of stealing my things. Always wanting what others have. Guess old habits die hard.
Ain't everyone like that? His children?
He wondered aloud, curiously. Maybe. So many of my crayons and dolls, she took as she pleased, and broke them too. This is not boding well for Sojiro. Sojiro felt his heart jump into his mouth. The ominous foreshadowing was not lost on him.
So true.
Well, something isn't. That's good. Usually that would be lost on him.
Why do you think that was?
Because she made a hobby out of taking my property and smashing it into pieces, obviously. When she had her eyes on something, I had to kiss it goodbye. I'm screwed. Listening to Alko, Sojiro recalled his conversation with Toko. Maybe you should bring this up. Maybe a little bit. He hoped he was imagining it, but he vaguely recalled her declaring... Oh, never mind.
Yep. Declaring Sojiro Suzuki is someone's property, I think that said.
I think that's what it said too.
Damn. Uh-oh. Well, that is troubling.
Sojiro's face turned grim, not unlike a detective at the scene of a crime. A scene which left no traces of evidence or clues as to how the case could be solved. Right? She was a terrible sister. The worst. Unaware of Sojiro's turmoil, Alko calmly sipped her tea. Sojiro watched as Alko shrugged her shoulders before looking over to the drawing room clock. No matter how heavy the mood, time kept on ticking by.
Gloomy days ahead, I guess.
Muttered the undeniable victim of today's injustices. Alko looked ready to move on from the incident, adding, Probably. Right now, I'm just looking forward to tonight's dinner. Alice seemed to second that opinion with her silence. Comfortable and relaxed, neither of them seemed to have any interest of leaving the sofa to prepare food. Tonight was supposed to be his night off for work. At least, until midnight. But Sojiro knew until the clock struck midnight, he would be serving on hand and foot the two ladies of the house. For one, it would take at least another hour to prepare something to eat. And there was no way the exhausted Alko and Alice would stand for that, so the only other option in the end was to have something delivered.
Maybe I should have taken Toko up on her offer after all.
Sojiro opened his wallet as he second-guessed his situation. His eyes settled on the third and final 10,000 yen bill in his wallet. It stared back at him forlornly, reluctant to leave its home. With a heavy heart, he bid it farewell.
Damn. Alright, anyways, chapter 10?
Yes,
I
I'm
think.
yes, it is 10. I'm guessing these are like the puppet's eyes.
God, that is creepy.
Yeah, because initially I was like, oh, howling, they're dogs. You know what? No, that's probably the puppet eyes.
That's horrible.
Because the
Let's
puppet eyes
see.
have the same color eyes as Alco, and Alco has
Yeah, they're
blue
blue, right?
eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, chapter 10, Howling. This everyday tale started like any other. The morning sun alerted Sojiro that a day of work lay ahead. Specifically, the gardens needed tending to. And an unkept garden made for an unhappy Sojiro. Luckily, today was his day off from all his part-time jobs. It was the perfect opportunity to get his hands dirty. There was one problem, however. The mansion's grounds were vast. Not only had the courtyard been left to run wild, but the area around the front door had been neglected too. To tend to these problems thoroughly, he would have to work on them week in, week out.
Alright. First, let's level things out.
In an ideal world, his task would only take a day, but for its enormity, I thought that was going to say, but in this economy.
Well, in this economy.
For the moment, Sojiro decided to set foot into the mansion's wilderness and evict the weeds. Wasting none of the early light, he started tackling the ones around the mansion.
Sojiro Du Valley.
But by his estimation, he could clear the forecourt, courtyard, and backyard, then take a small rest. Have some tea.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just a hi Alice. This is just a side note. At my job, there he is.
He's gardening.
At my job, they told us that we need to make iced tea, like sweet and unsweet tea. Instead of just putting the tea bag in, we should put a coffee filter in, then open the tea bag, put it in. It makes the tea look darker, which apparently more people enjoy. Here's the thing, though. I feel like that would upset Alice greatly because I did it this morning, and like the tea leaves like stuck like all around the thing that you put the coffee filter in.
That
So
upset
I had to like
me.
rinse it out. Huh?
That upsets me.
Yeah. I was like, literally while I was at work, I was like, Alice would be so disappointed.
She would.
This is not tea. This is not tea Alice would drink. However, I made the sweet tea very, very well, apparently.
Nice.
Got very good thumbs up from everyone, so.
Pog.
What's gotten into him? It's me. Daddy's out there for fun. It's Sojiro. He might be out there for funsies. It was just before noon in the sunroom. I love how they're in the sunroom watching him like it's the goddamn zoo.
The aquarium, you might
It's
say.
the aquarium. Yeah, it's the aquarium all over again. Alice had come down, book in hand, to find Alco sitting down with a fashion magazine and elegantly sipping tea. Through the window, she could see the crouching figure of Sojiro shuffling by. He's been at it all morning. Hunched over since I saw him first thing from my bedroom window. I told him to clean the incinerator too. Any objections? Not really. He always works so hard, even in the cold. Alice quietly sat down. Her teacup had been placed on the table for her. You know what this reminds me of?
Yeah.
You know how in like old animations you know exactly like what's about to move? Because it's drawn differently? Because the character's about to interact with it?
Right?
That's what Sojiro looks like.
Oh, yeah, okay, I get it. I see it.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, that's where he is, but also it looks slightly off enough that you're like,
Fair.
They just, you know, they put him there, and then they erased the lines that they needed to erase, so that way it looks like he's behind the glass. And he has a little trash bag.
Here's the trash bag.
Little trash bag. She poured herself some tea and proceeded to open her book. She's reading through the looking glass. By the way, I looked more into the Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Apparently it's never described what it looks like, but it is vicious and always hungry, has a long neck, and like a beak, I believe it said. Or at least sharp teeth, one of the two.
Oh.
But the funny thing is that it is within the same poem as hunting the Jabberwocky.
Really?
It's in the same section.
Oh,
So they
yeah,
talk
yeah,
about it too.
it's near the beginning, right, I think?
Yeah. Because while they're looking for the Jabberwocky, they bump into one, and they're like, oh, we gotta be real careful, because that bitch vicious.
Right.
So,
Granted, there are a lot of words in the Jabberwocky, most of which aren't actually words.
that's also very fair. But the picture I saw made it look like it was, it looked like it had, like, flamingo legs, and, like, the face of a frog, and a weird hat. So, I don't
Sounds
know why they
right
gave
for-
him a hat.
Sounds right for something out of Into the Looking Glass. Sounds right for something out of the Jabberwocky.
Yeah, well, the best part about it that I found, though, was the fact that apparently it can go, it is born from the opposite side of the looking glass.
Interesting.
So it, like, resides within the darker part of the looking glass, or something like that. Something about, like, the reverse looking glass.
Ah.
So,
Yeah.
it was very interesting.
Interesting. Yeah.
The two sat passing the time in silence. Having happened to have the same idea, a nice relaxing cup of tea in the sunroom. With their evening roles decided, there was no need for idle chatter. Alco stared out the window, intermediately turning her gaze to her magazine. Alice was immersed in a book on rune magic, occasionally tilting her head up as if to recall something. As if by unspoken agreement, in unison, they pressed their teacups to their lips and glanced outside. To the two girls, Sojiro appeared as if he were an animal in a zoo. Neither were interested in lending a hand. Despite his sluggish movements, he was making good progress. As Alco's attention turned back to the sunroom, her eyes met Alice's. Alice returned her gaze to her book, though moments later she raised her head again.
Oh my god.
Oh,
God.
oh my god.
Yo.
Oh my god. Oh my god. There he goes.
Yo. Man, it's going ultra instinct.
Clearing her throat, she attempted to focus on reading. It was no surprise that Alice admired Sotaro's diligence. Not even 30 minutes had passed before he had cleared the courtyard of its unsightly weeds. Without stopping once, the mysterious gardener left the courtyard, puffing clouds of white breath. The area he left behind was spotless. Has he done this before? Alice muttered. Oh, that was Alice. Okay.
Oh,
Alice
oops.
muttered. It sounded like Alco.
Kinda
Alice
did.
muttered after scanning over his work. A stalwart, Sojiro worked confidently and ceaselessly. She was impressed, like she was watching a scene from a great movie, but before long, she grew irked. Why would he waste his energy like that? She thought. Alice looked at the clock. If he starts now, it'll be evening before he's done with the incinerator. Actually, he already took care of it. I watched him do it from upstairs. I didn't want him breaking it, so I gave him some pointers. You know, I yelled at him for so long my room almost froze over. It was safe to assume Alco had come to the sunroom to escape her cold room. Between barking orders from the window and cleaning in the cold, it was clear who had the harder job. Did Suzuki have anything to say? Yeah, a lot. But I couldn't really hear him. In other words, his complaints fell on deaf ears. With nothing else to discuss, the two resumed their reading. The ever so tense silence was broken by Sojiro entering the house after finishing his cleaning. He looks upset, he's spaghetti. He stared at the two of them, displeased.
Warm enough in here, Aozaki?
Warmer than outside, unless you're walking the halls. What made you decide to take care of the gardens anyway? Sojiro's subtle jib had failed to find its target. He had no chance of winning, and so just hung his shoulders in defeat.
Yeah, it's so cold out today. Snow's probably gonna fall tomorrow, so I thought I should tidy up while I could. Didn't think I'd have to work on the incinerator, too.
He sounded resentful, but his problem was not with the additional work. If anything, he was glad to do it. What he did not care for was how nobody had bothered to lend a hand. So what? We all need to use it. Hey, seeing as you're in a generous mood, vacuum the upstairs corridor, will you? Oh, and the brace from the beech tree out back, is on its last leg. Put that toolbox in your room in the attic to good use. And once you're done with that, come to my room. I have a bunch of things I'd like to throw into the incinerator. Hence why she made him clean the incinerator. Cruel, but clever.
And what are you gonna do while I'm doing all that?
No plans, really. Maybe I'll play a little guitar. Alko thought hard about how to spend her afternoon. Yet the thought of cleaning did not cross her mind, as had always been the case. Though it was not out of spite that she did not think to help to clean. It was because the word cleaning was not in her vocabulary. Oh, but vacuuming is, clearly. Sojiro knew exactly why the mansion was in the state it was. Still, that did not change the fact that the corridor upstairs was very long. And Alko was not lying about how cold it was inside. How cold it was. Inside was not much different than outside.
You really have no intention of helping me, do you? I mean, I do enjoy cleaning, but I don't know. Don't you even feel a little bit guilty, guilty using a roommate like this? Or do you just not feel guilt at all?
As usual, he might have gone too far. His remarks had hit too close to home. Oko closed her magazine and turned to face him. Infuriated, she glared, her sharp blue eyes piercing into him. Sojiro knew he had not said anything unjust, but he always blacked down first. Sojiro? Let me explain it. One more time.
Okay.
He replied automatically, straightening his back in response to Alko's cold, calm tone. Don't be mistaken. We're not letting you stay here out of kindness. We're putting up with you because we have to. Alko did not mince her words. Sojiro nodded in defeat.
So, I'm basically a pet.
A pet that cleans. Exactly. And not a very useful one at that. Alko responded, already tired of the conversation. While Sojiro had little room to counter, he still tried.
Last time I checked, most pets don't have to buy food, or pay rent.
Did you say something?
Nothing. I'm just a dumb mutt barking up the wrong tree.
He raised his hand dismissively, knowing he could not win. To Alko's ears, his attempt at self-deprecation sounded facetious. You do understand the position you're in, right?
Yeah, one where I'll do all the work.
Alko grinned at her pet's obedience. As long as he knew his place, that was all that mattered to her. She seemed to be extremely satisfied with his response. You don't have a care in the world, do you? What? Her playful smirk darkened, as did Sojiro's expression.
Aozaki, I can't breathe.
You know, if I keep this up, you'll never be able to complain again. Shall we give it a try? He shook his head, his expression growing more and more grim. Smart choice. I don't want to see you suffocate, if I can help it. The grating sound subsided. Sojiro gingerly touched his throat. The collar that had suddenly tightened around his neck returned to normal size.
Do you have any idea how painful it is to suffocate? It's excruciating.
I told you that's what your collar was for. You're always so naive, so I took the opportunity to give it a test run. Now you know your place. Anyway, chores. You're wasting daylight.
Okay. So that's what the sun was trying to tell me this morning.
Sojiro left the sunroom, his shoulders slumped and his tail between his legs. Aku watched him leave before turning to her magazine as if nothing had happened. Alice paid no attention. None of that had anything to do with her. With Sojiro gone, the room once again fell silent. As the clock ticked on, Alice suddenly stopped, flipping through her book. Any reason you push him so hard? She asked as though talking to herself. Aku replied without so much as looking up. Nope. We're just going to erase his memories in the end anyway. Why get his hopes up? Obscure as ever, but sincere in her own way. When you put it like that, I suppose you're right. Alice could not believe she had forgotten about the situation. Silently, she looked up from her book and gazed outside once again. The courtyard through the window reminded her of where she lived a decade ago. Nothing could compare to the beauty of those gardens. But if that was the case, why did the scenery make her feel nostalgic? All Sojiro had done was take care of the gardens with the goodness of his own heart. In only half a day, he'd achieved so much. It was Christmas Eve, and snow had started to fall. It's finally Christmas!
Almost Christmas means it wasn't Christmas!
Being Christmas Eve means it's not Christmas yet! Its timing was too good, as though it had waited for that day specifically. The cold, bustling main street seemed bright and vibrant under the layer of frosty white. Reindeer statues illuminated the surroundings. Children danced merrily to jingle bells. People walked along the brick road, smiling broadly. And then of course you have people buying their fried chicken buckets. Very important. These festivities, however, had not reached the mansion on the hill. Silence enveloped the isolated building. The shadow of the snow-covered woodland grew longer, beckoning in the darkness. People returned to the warmth of their homes, knowing a bitter night lay ahead. Something had been amiss in the mansion all day. Perhaps it was the calm before the storm. 2 days had passed since Toko Aozaki had revealed herself. Ako and Alice spent more and more time locked in their rooms. Mealtimes had grown noticeably quieter. With their roles decided, they were too busy with their own jobs to worry about each other. Hello, Frank.
Hello.
On this day, the two had been relaxing in the drawing room since morning. The moon was calm. The mood was calm, not the moon. While mostly at least, Sojiro was fretting that tonight would be the same.
The snow just couldn't wait till tomorrow, could it?
He aimed his words toward the girls on the sofa, despite knowing they would be ignored. Whether the snow fall today, tomorrow, or not at all, it did not affect them. The snow just meant a white Christmas. Alko remained silent. She wasn't ignoring him per se, she just had other things on her mind. Sojiro knew this, but still cast a lonely glance around the sunroom. This doesn't look like the sunroom.
This is the drawing room.
The courtyard had been cleaned only a few days ago. The courtyard he had cleaned only a few days ago was hidden by a layer of white. The falling snow would stop every so often, but then resume again as if teasing Sojiro.
Even the weather hates his ass.
By the next morning... Can you hear Frank? I cannot hear him.
He's very soft.
I think you need to change your mic again, Frank.
Goddamn Discord.
There you go.
By the next morning, the courtyard would be a winter wonderland. Alko and Alice sipped tea in an effort to fight the cold. In fact, that was all they were doing.
You know, Toko's hair was darker than yours, Aozaki. I've never seen such beautiful red hair. Shame it was so short.
What are you trying to get at, Sojiro?
Like some long.
Sojiro rambled on, not expecting a response. However, her hair was cut short? Alko's expression went from nonchalant to its usual sharpness. What do you mean short? You're talking about her hair, right?
Yeah, even shorter than Alice's. Is that a big deal?
No, she just used to have longer hair than mine. So she really cut it all off.
He went bald.
Alko spoke in a grave tone. Showing slight interest, Alice turned to Sojiro.
What's so bad about her getting a haircut? Does it affect you in any way, in any way, Izaki?
Well, yeah, it does. As we have nothing to do until nightfall, I suppose I'll explain. You're lucky if you hadn't. You're lucky. If you hadn't said anything, we'd have been oblivious when fighting her. Alco knowingly glanced at Alice, her expression suggesting she was treating her. She was also likely seeking approval. Alice remained stoic as ever, her expression showing neither approval nor disapproval. However, how can I put this? Mages can use their hair as a weapon. For the longest time, hair and eyes have been vital to magecraft, especially in my sister's case. The more colorful the eyes, the better. The longer the hair, the higher the quality. Hair has the same qualities as the body, and when grown over many years, it becomes a stronger base component.
Huh.
Oh, like when we fought the Snark.
Yeah. Kind of. Never really.
Kind of.
Is that
Never
why?
really.
Is that
She
why
threw her
was
hair
a
into
weak
the
mage?
wind.
True, but like
Is that why Shiru's a weak mage?
I
Weak
don't
mage.
think that's. I don't think that has anything to do
I don't
with
think
it.
that's. I don't think that's how that goes for
mean,
him.
I mean, the eyes thing makes
Sure,
sense
that-
for me because perception is, in a way, the oldest magecraft, and let alone the fact that mystic
Can't have
eyes
mystery
exist.
without perception.
Exactly. But hair is a new thing to me.
Mm.
Big think.
Big thing. That's why I'm growing mine out. Looking after is a pain sometimes, but I like styling it.
And the pigtails. Like I said,
Pigtails.
another someone.
Pigtails.
Sojiro glanced
Furtively.
furtively at Alice, wondering if the same held true for her. Maybe Alice had cut it because it was a hassle to maintain. Sounded stupid, but then again, this was Alice. Sojiro nodded to himself.
So that's good for you then, right, Aozaki? I mean that Toko's got short hair.
If she used all her hair before coming here, then yes. Long hair can be used in tons of ways. I can only use it to temporarily reinforce magecraft, but my sister can use it to complement long-lasting spells.
Well, I suppose that the Ainsburn homunculi can use their hair to form like familiars.
Birds.
Birds.
Herba.
Hey, do you think during the 3 years she was gone, she was growing out her hair, cutting it off, and then putting it onto her puppets?
That's what I
And
was
that's-
thinking, actually.
And that's how that one puppet was able to do magecraft when we fought in the House of Mirrors.
Right?
I think that's
That makes sense.
Theory.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
With all those thoughts and memories in that hair, it's like having a mage clone. The puppet!
Puppetry.
You can even use it on a dead dog or cat, revive them, and make them the mage's familiar. Oh,
Mm,
melted dog.
melted.
Hmm.
Wait, mulched cat. What about
Oh,
mulched cat?
Engine cat.
Sew it back together with hair. Sew it back together with hair.
Oh my god.
Familiars with no previous magical energy, like said dog or cat, can acquire magic circuits, all thanks to the hair. The reanimated creature becomes something entirely different. They can even speak and take human form. Their behavior changes, too, to something resembling a regular mage. Right, Alice? Her last words came with a mocking smile. Alice slightly ignored it. Silently ignored it. What does that mean?
So, Toko has familiars like Alice?
I think that's a safe bet. She must have been growing her hair out for over 20 years. She could have had an army of powerful familiars. Or puppets! Puppets! A fight at the amusement park! Just the thought of Alice Kuwanji releasing flat snarks sent a shiver down Sojiro's spine. The oil of the moon had been a unique familiar out of this world. Hey, don't worry about it. She couldn't create a familiar that could destroy Misaki or anything. But she could make an army of familiars that could destroy Misaki. Still, a familiar created with hair that long would be incredibly powerful.
And, I mean, to be fair, servants are a kind of familiar. I think they're also...
make them...
I think they're also God. Like literally the I think they're also like, if not like literally the most powerful familiar a mage can like attain, definitely up there.
Keith,
yeah, what's
does
up?
That mean that Deku is half familiar?
Oh my God.
Here, eat this.
I guess.
Oh, he has multiple familiars inside him. Do you think? Does it make him a pseudo servant now?
He's a pseudo servant now.
Oh my God.
He's a pseudo servant of like 5 people inside him.
That's, I mean, to be fair, that's not entirely to be fair, that's not entirely unheard of.
Oh my God.
Rasputin actually has multiple heroic spirits inside of Kiri Kotomine's friggin' body.
Oh dear.
Not just Rasputin.
And
a few of them are gods.
Of course they are.
Oh.
Technically, doesn't Reen have 2 inside of her? Because she has Ishtar and the other one whose name I forget.
Well, Ereshkigal and Ishtar are 2 separate entities, rather than inhabiting kind of the same vessel. They're kind of materializing in nighttime. Yeah. Right? They're materializing in the same they're materializing in like the same human being as a vessel, but like they are separate entities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Rather there are 2 of them in there.
Yeah, rather than all like having a friggin' party inside of Kiri's mind.
Oh my God. I would say poor Kiri, but I don't care.
Warped. Maybe that's why Kiri's a warped man. There's so many people inside him.
No, he was already like that.
No. Yeah, he kind of started out like that. I think that's probably why he bonded so well with Rasputin. Rasputin.
See, the Kiri's only fucked once.
Boring.
At least probably.
He only has 1 kid.
He only has 1 kid. Wife killed himself. Wife killed herself. You know.
You know. Super fun.
Anyways.
Mages that use their hair, though, they need to reset one of the 3 pillars from the beginning. They have to grow their hair again. Making familiars. They have to grow their hair again. Making familiars is easy, but not leading them. As Aoko spoke, her mood visibly improved, as though she had made a breakthrough.
Dogs and cats.
Some dogs
Tilting his
living
head to
together.
the side. He could not imagine a world where dogs and cats were so powerful.
Mass hysteria.
It's strange.
Hey, do you think maybe the wild dog that attacked him?
Was that
We still don't
familiar?
know anything about the stupid fucking blonde boy that we saw at the school.
True.
I want to believe that he's important, because who the fuck gives a character a description and then goes, he's not important anyway.
Fair enough.
Like,
He's probably going to show up still again, because
hope
you
so.
know, no multiple routes here.
well, because like the whole thing is that it reminds me, the way that I was thinking about it is that in the Percy Jackson books, I believe her name was Claire. It's been a while since I've read the books, but she ends up becoming the next Oracle. Spoilers. But the thing is that she is a quote unquote one-off character when they go to the dam, the Hoover Dam. But the thing is that he explains exactly what she's wearing, exactly what she looks like, her eye color, her skin tone, everything. He puts a lot of effort into explaining what she looks like. So that means she has to come back, because you don't do that for a character that's like the cashier or just some random person you bump into in a bathroom.
Fair.
And she does come back. She becomes the next Oracle, so she is important. So
I don't think you have anything to worry about.
So, which means I think this the weird child that stole shit from them is important. Toko is a puppet master. I wonder why she would lower herself to make familiars. She probably had nobody to help her, and she wouldn't ask for assistance with a personal matter concerning the family. Actually, maybe the puppet at the amusement park wasn't made from her hair. What was it made from? Now that you mention it, you did say that it seemed highly customized. It's curse-based perpetual motion, coiled arms, fin shot, the depths of its obsession. It's unlikely Toko created the puppet from scratch. Meaning? Toko's not the type to put herself into her creations. She might consider doing it for a perfect replica, but the ones we destroyed weren't even faint copies of her. Alko, did that puppet have the same power as Toko? No way, not even close. Then it would not have been made using her hair. Meaning we have to keep our eyes open for a familiar fusing with her magical energy. They used Alko's hair.
Right.
Somehow she got Alko's hair
Maybe.
and turned it into a puppet.
Ugh.
So in your expert opinion, you think that her familiar could be stronger than my sister herself?
That's strange.
It is interesting.
If it's not, then what's the point of creating one?
I mean, familiar stronger than, you know, than the mage who
Master?
created them are
It's a little-
literally
that's-
servants.
Yeah, that's a Medea.
Yeah,
waiting
that's
to
Medea.
happen. Rule breaker. That's still one of my favorite scenes, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah, for sure.
When he like uses up all of his command seals and she's like, you said I couldn't use it on you. I didn't. I love Medea. She needs help. Oh no, wait.
Yeah, well,
No, that
yeah,
is
that
Alice.
is Alice.
Okay. She needs help. The two of us versus one of her. So she's going to attack with the familiar at the same time. Makes sense? It'd be at least a fair fight. Well, fairer. When it comes to familiars, I think you have the upper hand. Alice had never been defeated by a familiar. She sighed at Aoko's overconfidence. Aoko, even if she utilizes her 20-year stockpile, she can only use small animals as vessels. If Toko was to prepare a familiar as her trump card, don't you say it. No sister of mine would stoop that low. Aoko and Alice stared at each other. The conversation had returned to the drawing room, but the subject matter was not for the faint of heart. I suppose. Still, nothing hunts down a human better than a human.
Unless you're a dead apostle.
I mean,
Because those are literally made to hunt down humans.
they get the big chomp chomp.
And to an extent, true ancestors as well.
Chomp chomp.
But you know, there's only one of those. And she won't be awake for a good few years now.
Yeah, well, no, she... How long has it been since she killed the previous Roa? At this point? At the beginning of... Well, at the beginning of Tsukihime, hadn't it been like...
Years, right?
Usually 100 years.
It's like 100 years? Alright, yeah, she's still asleep.
Yeah, I mean, Shiki is definitely also like...
Shiki isn't even a
born yet.
concept currently.
Neither of them.
Shiki's not even a concept.
Neither of them.
None of them. None of the people in Tsukihime are even a concept yet.
No, none.
Not even a sperm cell.
Maybe with the exception of Vlav, perhaps, but like...
Yeah, Vlov's there. He's
all of the
making
humans.
7-Eleven.
All of the humans. Well, maybe Noelle. But like, Noelle's like young.
Yeah, Noelle's like young then.
Yeah. She might be like a baby.
Child.
Isn't her... I think her birthday is Christmas, so she might be born tomorrow. In-game.
Imagine.
I mean, Arcoid's birthday is Christmas too.
Mm-hmm. But she's a vampire and she lives forever. So.
Yeah.
God.
Toko
may not have raised the dead, but she probably has something just as powerful up her sleeve. It's fucking Roa.
Hey, I'm making an appearance in this game.
Hello, it is
Roa,
I,
get out of here,
Roa
will you?
Maldum-Shang. Yeah, okay. I admit geniuses can get stuck in their own world sometimes. Whatever corpses she throws at me, I'll be ready.
Bastard man.
Aoko nodded reluctantly at Alice's directness. Needless to say, Sojiro was completely lost. The poor dear.
I don't quite follow. Why are you both convinced the familiar's dead?
Because living partners aren't familiars. They're co-conspirators. Familiars can't live with a mage to sustain them. Blah, blah, blah. Still, the perfect foil, strong-willed and smart enough to compensate for their mage's shortcomings. Everything you want from a great familiar. Let's be real, who wouldn't want to bring that kind of partner back to life? Completely obedient and capable of compensating for their mage's weaknesses.
Sojiro.
Sojiro.
Actually, no, he's still weak.
No, don't say that. He's a baby. Sojiro felt that a familiar was little different than himself. Turns out he is a familiar.
Oh god.
Now then, My sister has always been a rune user, so we can somewhat predict her tactics. Her trump card, which we need to be worried about, is probably familiar. And it's likely she used up all of her automata already. That's what you think.
That's a lot. I mean, she threw 30 of them at you. I'm pretty sure.
She has thrown 32 at you currently, and you think there might not be more? What a concept.
Thinking that she just threw all she had on them.
Bro, she got unlimited puppet works right now, right? Like, we all
Also,
can agree.
Unlimited automa works.
Unlimited automaton works.
By the way, she knew exactly when they were going to be home.
Right.
She knew that those 30 things that she threw at them were not going to keep them. Like, we're not going to kill them.
Right.
So that was not her best. That was her mid, and she knew it.
Yeah. That was a test.
She just wanted to keep them away. Yeah. Algo spoke directly to Alice, looking for confirmation.
Bro, that was the midterm. She ain't even at the final exam yet.
Exactly.
Oh god.
The final exam, 4 paperworks.
Oh god, no.
All with 7 sources. 12-point font, Times New Roman.
My sources that I needed to fuck up.
Not double-spaced.
Not double-spaced? Oh god.
Alice nodded in agreement. So we stick to the plan. Let's call it a night. I'm gonna make her pay for all the crap she's put through the last month. Ako clenched her teeth and balled her fists. It all seemed like nothing more than sibling rivalry. In fact, that's probably all it was. Looking at Aoko, Sojiro let out a sigh of relief. Sorry, the people outside of my room are being very loud.
Oh.
With what happened with Toko and how they reacted to her visit, the atmosphere had been deathly tense. For now, though, Ago seemed much calmer. He took comfort in the thought that perhaps the sisters would just bury the hatchet. Even if Aoko and Toko were not sisters, he would not want to see what would happen if they fought.
It would be involved, yes.
The hands of the clock turned gently. Approaching Judgment Night, a merciless silence would soon come to mock Sojiro's complacency. As night appeared, 2 things vanished. The first was the whimsical snowfall. The second was the lights of the mansion on the top of the hill.
Wow. Look at that full moon. All the vampires are gonna be at full power.
There are no such things as vampires, so Jerome, what are you on about?
He's learned that there's a thing as true magic. I think he'd start believing in werewolves.
Fair.
What if he's a werewolf and we just don't know it? But that's the scratches on his arms.
Oh my god. Wait. Is B cooking? We'll see.
Something does smell quite good.
Aoko and Alice were nowhere to be seen inside. Only Sojiro remained.
On a full moon? Interesting.
It was the night of Christmas Eve. Though Aoko and Alice had yet to find Toko, they knew everything would be concluded over the course of this day and the next.
Nothing like having a family over for Christmas to do battle with.
Christmas comes but once a year. It was a singular time for endings and new beginnings. In Japan, the modern holiday dated back only about 100 years and celebrated Christ's birthday only in name, with all its latter-day trappings. It was neither pure homage nor corruption of the festival that inspired it.
Sounds as big an holiday.
Regardless, there was a significant increase in the land's mana during festivals. Such charge distortion were a boon to a mage's craft, but be it creative or destructive. Toko Aozaki sought to destroy the local sigils, which gathered and properly cycled the magical energy of the land and its people. Sotaro was able to gather that much from Alco and Alice's conversation. Toko had already claimed 3 sigils.
Oh, she's going.
Yeah, they have 2 more in place.
Yeah, she had.
Wait.
For context, there are 5.
I
There were
know.
5. There were.
There were.
Oh,
There were.
How'd you get them so fast?
yo, she working. She
Because she's been here for a month.
She working 24 hours a day. God.
dude, she's a hater.
Truly.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
I'm up extra early so I can be a hater for more hours.
Exactly. Only 2 remained. Any further loss would signal Alco and Alice's defeat. In order to protect the remaining ones, they had to split up. Alco lacked power, so she would need to borrow a poi from Alice and head to the Tokawa Sigil, which boasted the greatest local energy supply. Alice would go fully equipped to the sigil in Yashirogi, free from the constraints of civilized society. Magecraft is most powerful at midnight. The
Like
young
vampires.
witch and the apprentice mage wished each other luck before leaving the mansion.
I mean, I suppose midnight is like
When the moon is highest in the sky.
when the moon is
Witching
highest in the
hour.
sky, witching hour stuff. There.
I thought the witching hour was 3 a.m.
Is it? At the very least,
I don't know.
At the very least, it's probably because mystery is like highest at midnight, since that's when most prying eyes are asleep.
Hmm.
When
And
people-
there's a lot of
bullshit
things. Yeah.
happens.
Yeah, and there's a lot of strange things associated with midnight as well. So I can see that, at least kind of.
The witching hour is a time when otherwise content baby is extremely fussy, in which typically occurs between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. What?
Oh,
You were reading the sarcastic dictionary.
No,
It sounded
I am
like
not.
It. Sounded
It's-
like it.
kind of did.
I know, and it's a Main Street pediatrics, and it is increased fussiness. The witching hour.
Oh,
What?
okay. Where?
Oh, okay. So, in the Western Christian tradition, the hour between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. is considered the witching hour.
Oh, okay.
So,
Interesting.
but apparently, if you have a fussy child, the witching hour is between 5 p.m. and 11 p.m.
Sure,
I love
whatever
it.
you say. Anyways.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you, pediatrics. Love it.
Honorable mention
Increased
to the
fussiness.
sarcastic dictionary.
The young witch and the apprentice. Oh, I read that.
Yes.
They leave the mansion. They're leaving. Into the thick of it. Into the thick of it. It was almost 10 at night. After the girls set out, The first 2 hours passed quickly. When Aoko was ready to head off, Sojiro walked with her to the foyer. Neither had spoken a word to each other. She had departed without showing any sign of fear. It was difficult to tell whether she did not want to get him involved, or whether she did not see him as a worthy ally in combat. The thought stuck with him. He let out a long sigh. Not a dejection or frustration. It was a melancholy, emotionless breath.
That
mechanical. Ah. It was, well, you know, that's the same thing.
That is, sure, whatever.
Still fixed, I
This is
guess.
close enough. He sat on the near frozen floor, staring vacantly up at the skylight. Why are you sitting on the floor, my guy?
You have a
Moonlight
bed.
peeked through the clouds. He imagined the moonlight bouncing off the town's powdery blanket and illuminating the night. But he would not find himself downtown. Watching from the sidelines was his role to begin with. His roommates and he lived worlds apart. There we go. He could not keep up with them, and if he did not show the same kind of will, he would remain on the sidelines. However,
I get it. I'm not needed anymore.
no, it's okay. Sojiro looked up at the moon. Somewhere deep inside, he felt a trickle of sadness. Veiled in white and cloaked in darkness, the park seemed like a forgotten memory. That is very ominous.
That is very ominous.
The music's gone. It is very ominous now.
Yeah, music is gone. It's just like
I wanna use this as the thumbnail
Yeah.
because it's just as ominous as I think the fact that it's called fucking howling or howls.
yeah, howling.
I think howling. Okay.
All right,
That's very ominous.
you got it.
Yes.
It's so fucking ominous. Not a soul was in sight. The night felt far more
Enigmatic.
enigmatic. Okay, enigmatic than usual. Yet the air was clean. The air was clean enough to drink.
What?
Yeah, that's the weird description.
The air?
Sure. You guys can hear like the wind, right? It's very faint.
Yeah.
Okay.
Faintly.
Hold on, let me.
But I don't know the description. I don't think the description makes sense.
I mean, I might not have the game turned up enough for me on my side, but I'll take your word for it.
It's very ominous.
Though only a sliver of moonlight peered through the clouds, it lit up the entire world. In those moments, a young girl's footsteps echoed, trampling the still white silence under a midnight sun. The pale moon illuminated the inky blue sky. Only a few streetlights and an incongruous phone booth betrayed sights of civilization. The girl appeared, dressed in black.
Hello, Alice.
Hello. Against the snowy landscape, the figure of Alice Kuanji was unmistakable. Pure black, deeper than even the night, were her overcoat, gloves, and hat, even her hair and eyes. Nothing stirred, nothing stirred for a time. Not Alice, nor the white scenery. The world was a still painting of a snowy field.
So is this Christmas Eve still, or?
I think it's midnight, so it's now Christmas Day.
Yeah, something like that.
Merry Christmas.
Have any presents?
Only time moved, gradually, darkening the lights in the park, and eventually the nearby homes as well.
It was the night before Christmas, and all through the mansion.
And all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse.
Sojiro Suzuki
That's
was
all.
stirring, but you know.
Sojiro Suzuki was the mouse that was stirring. The one singular mouse. Yashirogi was a more modern and developed town than Misaki. Though the park was located in the center of town, it had become a blind spot. And she gets shot.
Oh god.
It had been overlooked by developers and carried non-commercial value. A few houses encircled the park, the street lights turned off at midnight. It was a white night. People, even machines, were fast asleep. It looks like I got here early, Alice whispered, watching the streetlights slowly fade. She thought she heard a dog howling in the distance.
That's
Melted dog?
A melted dog, you could say? Perhaps it was howling at the moon. The howl reached deeper into the night than expected. A wolf, maybe?
There's no way it's a wolf.
There's no way it's a wolf. This is Japan.
This is Japan.
Wolves are extinct in Japan.
I swear to God, if it's a werewolf. There's no way. There's no way, right? There's no way.
I mean, hey.
Wait.
The title is Witch on the Holy Night. If there are witches, there's werewolves. And we know vampires exist.
We know vampires exist. That's a full friggin' moon. That's
It's a
oh
full
my God.
moon. It's a full moon.
There's
there
no
was
way.
a howl.
There's no
There is
way.
a werewolf abound.
This chapter is called Howling. There's no way, right? There's no way.
We'll find out.
There's
We'll
no
find
way.
out.
Sojo
Hey,
got turned into a werewolf.
Hey, think about it like this. They did say that they could turn animals into familiars that then could have a human form. So what's to say that a dog couldn't move between human and dog?
True.
To make a
Oh
werewolf
my God.
being.
No way.
Oh,
Oh,
God.
if we're right.
And she just has an army of werewolves.
If we're right.
Oh my.
If we're right. It's.
I don't want to be right.
If we're right, you are
Sorry.
obligated to subscribe.
The phone
Yep.
is ringing.
If we're right, you're obligated to like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Comments.
Comment that we were correct or comment that we were absolutely fucking wrong. It helps with the algorithm.
Absolutely.
Either way. The phone rang. It was perhaps the first time it had rung?
Wrong.
It had hung. It had rung since Sojiro moved into the mansion. Hesitantly, he picked up the receiver and brought it to his ear.
Koenji household.
Scary
This
movies.
is Suzuki speaking.
Do you like scary movies?
Not
He
particular.
heard
Scream.
nothing.
The Scream guy is just there.
Tell me what your favorite movie is.
I like
Did you know
documentaries
that's
about
a-
crocodiles.
Did you know that there's actually a website where It might not be still up by the time this video goes up, but you can put in your phone number and your name, and then because it's to promote the newest Scream movie, and the Scream guy will call you and use your name.
Oh,
It's like really cool.
interesting.
So people have been like pranking their friends and stuff.
I wonder if that's still going on.
I know it's still going on right now, but when this video goes up, it might not still be going on.
Okie dokie.
He felt he had to say something, but could not think of what.
Did you know the crocodiles are able to regrow their lost teeth?
Wait, they can?
What?
Yes, they can.
That's not the question I asked you. Maybe something like,
Hello.
hello, Kuwanji
Howdy, Kuwanji residents.
Howdy, Kuwanji Mansion.
What you mentioned?
Or maybe...
You've reached the Aozaki residence.
While he was deep in thought, a voice as light as air came through the receiver. Suzuki.
Is that Alice?
It sounds like
Oh
it.
god, that's not good.
No.
Ew, they got murked.
It was definitely Alice's. Okay. Sojiro could barely hear the voice, but it was definitely Alice's.
Yeah. Is that you, Alice?
Oh, though she's in the phone booth.
Oh, right.
No response.
He did.
The silence was as profound as the night. But for the sound of static from the receiver. After a long pause, Alice finally spoke. Is Aoko there?
No, she hasn't come back yet.
I see.
This is the most ominous shit in the game.
Oh. I don't even think Tsukihime was this horrifying.
No, not.
And that's a
This
story
is-
literally about vampires.
This is some pure suspense right here. This is no longer Holy Night. This is a scary night.
Witch on the Horror Night.
Yes.
Okay.
This is giving me the creeps, honestly.
Hi, I'm back. Obviously, someone knocked on my door,
Oh.
so.
Oh, I thought
God.
that was in game. Okay.
This is. Oh my
No,
god.
that was-
Oh my god.
That was my.
You fucking scared us. You fucking.
I'm so sorry. Someone knocked on
God.
my door, so I had to mute myself so I could talk to
Like,
them.
I heard the door knocking, and I was like, oh no.
I thought that it was in the game, like someone found Sojiro. My goodness me.
I mean, someone found him last time, but. With a click, the call ended.
With a knock on the
Sojiro
door.
wondered if she had something to say but could not respond in time.
Man, those minutes on them phone booth calls kind of suck, don't they?
I don't think he knows what a phone booth is.
No, he used one.
Oh, yeah, he did.
All he knows
Oh,
about is that it's
God.
a magic box that lets people speak.
What
Oh,
the
slowly they advanced, carving through the fresh snow.
Those,
Is
So they
that,
are
those are
dogs.
dogs.
Are those huskies? Is someone having a sleigh of huskies?
Good God.
Murder huskies.
Oh god, all
There
of
were
them.
so many. Where had they all come from?
Where'd it go? Where'd it
Dozens
go?
of feral dogs snarled at Alice, their eyes trained on her. The snow clung to the beast's mangly fur. Their clenched fangs and bloodshot eyes hid a barely rained hunger that might burst forth like lightning at any moment. They yearned to taste her warm flesh and
Satiate.
and satiate their empty bellies.
saute her in the finest of sauces.
Mushroom sauce. To them, the girl in black stood like a lighthouse in a stormy sea. She watched them, disinterested. It appeared that the Yashirogi sigil was the key target tonight, not Tokawa, where Alka had gone. Tokawa. Alice had always been unflappable, and the child's play before her was hardly about to change that. Her main enemy was not the dogs surrounding her, but the lone mage behind them, Toko Aozaki. What hideous taste. Is this what you've fallen to after these last several years? Not that I'm complaining. If this is who you really are, then Aozaki and I have nothing to worry about. Toko laughed at the acerbic taunt. My, such a movable spirit. Rest assured, Alice, I'm not doing this for fun. Crunching through the fallen snow, Toko slowly came into view. She wore a moss-green coat that contrasted sharply with Alice's garb. A silk scarf warmed her neck. That doesn't really look that warm, I'm not gonna lie.
No.
She stood tall, her hair short, striking a more valiant posture than any young man. After all, the two standing here needed to be less like the shining moon, and more like the darkness surrounding it. The barking abated. Like servants in a royal court, they averted their eyes from their ruler, lest their eyes and hearts be plucked out. It's been too long, Alice. It has. You look well, Toko. They stood about 12 feet apart. No love had been lost between them. Just two enemies, one who was to be victorious, and one who was to fall. So, how shall we do this, Alice? We have so much to catch up on. How have you been? There's so much I've been dying to tell you. You can spare 5 minutes to chat, can't you? I'm afraid not. If I give you even the slightest quarter, you will steal it away. The following events unfolded quickly. Boldly and without a second thought, Cheshire Cat,
Ooh.
Alice pulled out a cat bell from the seam of her mantle and dropped it. Diddle diddle. The beginning of Alice Kuanchi's Magecraft, the start of a night of fairy tales.
Yeah, the cat and the fiddle, couch jumped over the moon.
Over the moon. And the dish ran away with the spoon. Alco favored a quick draw approach, like something from a western. She is from England, after all.
Yeah.
However, Alice preferred sleight of hand.
Well.
Oh no. No.
That's Alco.
I read that wrong. I'm stupid. I read that wrong. Alice preferred sleight of hand. Magic. She turned her target's blind spots against them, ending the game before they knew it had begun. The bell fell, like a coin into a fountain. Then, as it was about to strike the ground, it shattered, disappearing without a trace. Runes.
Toko placed the runes all over here before Alice had even
Under the
gotten here.
snow.
Damn.
I bet you she buried them, then it kept snowing, so you can't even see where she put them.
Right. Oof.
Pull the cuckoo lane.
She did pull a cuckoo lane.
She pulled almost a Wicker Man style of rune, I would say. It's almost up there with Wicker Man. Correct. I spent the day carving characters into the park. The brick path meant it was easy work, if a little time consuming.
You can just imagine people
Look at
going
the
around and
woods
seeing
around
this
here.
lady. Seeing
Just
this
like
lady drawing
cut him
dirt.
into the just like drawing a bunch of weird symbols on like each of the
Mommy, look, a
Mommy,
weird
what's that
lady.
weird lady doing? Don't look at her.
Look at her.
Look at the woods around here. Roughly a 1,200 square foot blank canvas. Impressive, isn't it? Right now, you and I are right on top of 300,000 characters worth of runes.
Holy crap.
300,000. Yeah, that should probably take more than a month, but I will. She fast.
Swallowing hard, Alice took a step back. Toko had carved runes all over the ground. Even the area Diddle reacted to alone. There was a depressing amount of them. Had she truly carved them into the whole park? Alice did not react with surprise. She simply narrowed her eyes. She could see how it would have taken the whole day. It was no wonder Diddle, banquet of the night, was destroyed by the skin of sun. Still, something bothered Alice. How in the world did you hide them all? There were just so many. What kind of magecraft could do that? Oh, these are special. These runes shift location. They're doing it even now. They look like simple scratches, but they return to their original form when they touch strong magical energy. You could call them memory runes. No matter how deep the night, these little suns won't set, and the snow hid them beautifully. She spoke modestly, but Alice could not imagine the amount of persistence, technique, and skill it must have taken. It only took a day. Even 10 mages would have trouble producing so many sophisticated runes in that time. Moreover, these runes were made using unknown techniques the association had not approved. It pains me to admit, Toko.
Who cares about if the association approves it or not? I mean, secrecy is magecraft.
But that's a lot of power to use on one poor little girl. Oh, please. I've never thought that about you. Well, there were times when I admired that body of yours. To have one like that. Great. Ma'am.
Are you sure?
Interesting.
Ma'am.
Are you sure?
Ma'am, this is a child.
Pretty sure?
Ma'am, this is a Wendy's.
Ma'am, you're in your 20s.
Yeah, and so was fucking Noelle.
Fair enough.
And her prime wasn't in her 20s, it was when she was 14.
Fair enough.
I wonder if she's creepily gay.
She's just creepy. Well, no, she
Yeah,
has to be at least creepily bi, because she
Yeah,
very much
creepily
was
bi.
like trying to like nibble on Sojiro in the previous episode. So
Oh god.
Bad touch. Bad touch. Stranger danger.
Bad touch.
Stranger danger.
she literally grabbed him by the
By the
collar.
collar.
And was like, "Hi."
You can be mine if you want.
Yeah, she literally was
Jeez.
like, "You can be mine if you just leave my sister. I'll take very good care of you."
Stranger
like bad
danger.
touch.
Stranger
Bad touch.
danger.
and Sojiro literally was like, "Can you let go, please?" This was given to me by Azaki, and I kind of need to keep it safe. Let's be honest.
Oh!
Oh. Okay, ma'am. It happened in the blink of an eye.
That's quick.
Alice cut off Toko's snide remark with a deadly stare. Quite literally.
There's no way. Alice has... Does Alice have mystic eyes?
I don't think she has mystic eyes. I think she has a mystic eye.
One. Fair. Actually,
One
one of them is
singular eye.
only one of them is glowing, so one
Yeah.
singular mystic eye.
Stick eye depth perception.
The left eye, the darkly clad girl changed in color to an ominous ruby. The speed of the incantation was phenomenal. Alice's mystic eyes of enthralling snared Toko.
Yo.
So she's got mystic eyes too.
Enthralling?
Damn.
Everyone
Enthralling, I
has
suppose.
mystic eyes.
Not Alco. Get
Not
dunked
Alco.
on.
Skill issue.
Skill issue. She's just built
She had
different.
been- She literally is built different. She had been the one to, quite literally, be taken captive by the girl's stare. Toko tried to raise her arms, but could not even move a finger. Alice's mystic eyes commanded absolute control with no room for resistance. Only a person's internal organs were allowed the freedom to move. Oh, okay. Since their organs still functioned, it was more precise to say that her eyes forbid the target from acting. Alice had played her hand with exquisite timing. It wasn't the speed of her eyes that had given her the edge. The deftness with which she wove her spells to exploit the briefest vulnerability in what made Alice a different caliber to other mages like Alco. This witch, who lived hidden in the modern era, was more seasoned in magical battles than Toko Aozaki.
だが残念。ディドルディドルが響かないのでは、魔眼のアクロスティック化はできないようだね。
Such a shame. Without diddle diddle, your eyes can't be made acrostic.
Acrostic. A poem, word puzzle, or other composition in which certain letters in each line form a word or words.
That's like a crossword puzzle.
Yeah.
Huh.
Interesting.
惜しいね。
You
あ
were
の月見のプロ
close
騎士じゃない。
with your
これで
moon
私の方は
ploy
お手上げだ
kickshaw.
ったろうな。
I might have been begging for mercy.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Oops.
Apes.
See doopsie.
The formation holding Toko began to distort. In the blink of an eye, the mage, oh damn, had bested Alice's mystic eyes. Alice's black outfit fluttered in the wind. She turned so she was not facing Toko head on. The mage had recovered through her own mystic eyes. At the root of Toko's mystic eyes was a spell of mesmerize. Oh, so she has eyes of mesmerizing.
I see.
Okay. Most effective when facing their prey, such eyes could mind-jack a target's awareness. It was difficult to resist head-on. However, its effect was greatly diminished if the target was not facing the eyes directly, even if it was within range. Moreover, the girl was the last witch of her lineage who commanded a great number of fairy tales. Against mystic eyes, that projected their effects, simply turning one's body was enough to repel half of the magical energy. Like Alice's eyes, Toko could also disable actions. Alice had escaped by the skin of her teeth. The damage she had suffered was the weight of a twig to a forest. She had to let the energy pass through. In an instant, a startling chill ran through Alice's body.
Uh-oh.
This was a problem. The touch of death ran up her spine.
Finger of death?
She glared at the mage before her as blue rubber balls flowed out from beneath her overcoat.
One of her eyes is blue. Oh my god.
This is the ongoing joke,
It's
isn't
just
it?
Sans.
It's just Sans.
It's all Sans.
The stare-off grew more intense.
Oh god.
Something wrong with your totally legit hardware?
No. Everything is fine. Everything is okay.
Alice glared harder,
Sure.
resisting Toko's mystic eyes with her own. Losing was not an option.
Could be.
In terms... Yes?
Could be an option.
In terms of raw magical energy, Alice Kuwanji's mystic eyes were more powerful and advanced than Toko's. Surely nobody could beat her. Surely. And yet... Her unfiltrated shock of magical energy, stifled by old-fashioned values, was no match for Toko's madness. Deeper within her eyes, somehow the eyes revealed a sealed power. Wow. Such a nice camera shutter.
Oh, good
effect.
lord.
Inside the crystal... Oh, excuse me. Inside the crystalline lens of the mage's left iris was a bottomless pit of a Klein cube.
Jeez.
That's a Klein cube.
Good question.
It's a weird cube that has no outside and no inside.
Oh, I remember what that is.
Yes.
It's the one that where you try to trace the line, but it never makes a perfect square.
Oh. Is this a geometry concept?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, great.
It is a very weird geometry concept.
Excellent. Maxwell's demon becoming a servant memento.
Yeah, yes.
Kind of.
Love that.
It's a similar insanity, I think.
Fair enough. This is-
Imagine a bottle and the lip of the bottle is inside the bottle.
Oh.
There's also outside the bottle.
Mobius
a
strip,
Klein.
right?
Yeah, sort of like, no. Mobius strip is different. This is... Klein bottle's an entirely different thing.
Oh. Oh, good lord.
Hold on.
Just this.
I have looked it up.
This.
Why?
Yep.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah, it's funky.
That is very funky. So true.
So true?
So anyways, Alice is in pain.
Yes, clearly.
Alice is looking through geometric pain right now.
Alice winced in pain.
She's experiencing the pain of learning math.
Me too, buddy.
The bindings grew in number.
Hey, that's how we know that that's how you know that like Roa is evil, because his because his lightning is lightning is numerology. It's Kabbalistic techniques, which are all math.
Oh god.
Toko, she's using Toko Klein cube. It's math. That's how you know she's evil.
Yes, math is evil.
Math
is evil.
Confirmed
Math
by
is-
fate.
Math is the
confirmed by,
bane of all
by
mages.
Nasu.
Mathematics
could be.
suck.
That's why they don't teach it in
In Hogwarts.
well, I mean, I wasn't gonna say that, but I was gonna say the clock tower, but yeah, sure.
So many mystic eyes, thousands, perhaps, and all fixated on Alice.
So she put a Klein cube in her head. Is that effectively what's happening here? And then it multiplies her mystic eyes.
I guess so?
I guess.
How does
See, I
How does
thought
one
when they
do
were
that?
showing this that this is I don't know. Listen.
I thought the Klein cube was supposed to be a hindrance.
I don't
to her
know.
eyesight. What is that? This is Geometry Dash. This is a geometry battle.
It's a geometry dash. It's a geometry dash level.
I'm unhappy that it's not centered though.
True.
Honestly, same.
Fair.
It bugs me.
Mm.
Pressure. So much pressure.
Rushing down
Endless.
on me.
And Alice knew it. She saw, incredulously, she saw eyes growing within eyes.
You saw eyes
Toko
within
had placed-
eyes.
Toko had placed opposing mirrors inside her eyes, resulting in an infinite glare.
Oh, so that's the Klein bottle thing.
Oh.
So her eyes are on loop towards her then.
Essentially. Good lord.
Yeah, it's kind of
That's-
similar to like if a hallway is slightly curved to and someone puts like far enough back a mirror, it just looks like it just keeps going on forever and you don't see yourself.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It's like that,
yeah,
but with
makes
eyeballs.
sense then.
Holy cow.
I don't think that's exactly a Klein cube, but
Not exactly Klein cube.
But it's essentially the weird.
that's what
It's
they were
essentially
referencing.
the effect.
yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Infinity.
Forcing your eyes to look into and out of yourself. That is
Yeah.
horrifying.
Mhm.
That is horrifying indeed.
Yeah.
Madness
It was the act.
is
of a
indeed.
madman. It was the act of a madman.
Man-made horrors
Creating
beyond
mystic
the
eyes
comprehension.
within mystic eyes.
She's becoming an eldritch horror.
She could
Legit.
even control the resulting chaos caused by all the copies. Her insanity knew no bounds. No mage in their right mind would mass produce so many mystics. The last escape of humankind, so indiscriminately. Oh dear. Am I making you uncomfortable? Tell me. Am I doing a
Yes.
good job of imitating a Meister?
No,
うまくできているだろう
you're horrible.
Aren't you impressed?
I mean, I'm guessing she only did that for one. I hope she only did that for one.
Only for Alice.
君の悪路のように希少な
Instead
神
of
秘で現
bending
実をねじ曲
reality
げるの
using
で
a
はなく
rare mystic
量
like
産
you
した
would,
神秘で現
I
実を
mass
ねじ伏
produced
せ
a mystic to bend reality to my will.
物自体はただの魔
On the
眼だが
surface,
その段数
they're
には
regular
果て
mystic
がない
eyes. Only their volume is infinite.
相手がどれほどの魔力抵抗
No
を
matter
持
how
ってい
much
よう
magical
それ
energy
以
an
上の魔
opponent
力で
uses to
拘束す
resist
るだ
them,
けなのだ
they will simply multiply the energy needed to bind them.
That's fucked. That's quite
That
fucked.
is so
She
screwy.
wielded power. She wielded power without limit to disable the opponent.
So did she?
Hmm?
Did she just figure out a way to create renewable energy with Mystic Eyes? Kinda sounds like it.
In a way, situational renewable energy. Mostly only
Yeah,
like
also, it probably isn't good for her body.
no, it's definitely not good for her body.
So
She
it's
probably has a
renewable
lot
in
of mana.
attack, but not in like.
So she'd have to have a lot
Storing.
of magical energy inside of her then. That's
Like remember,
It's scary.
Toko was already experiencing a lot of like pain pushing her mystic eyes to their limits, like when this wasn't happening. So
Once one was caught in them, one was chained to the concept of infinity. Infinity. Projection type eyes had a fatal flaw. Their firepower and formula were insignificant compared to the great artillery of incanted spells. But Toko had torn down that conventional wisdom with brute strength. If the gun was a pea shooter, she simply needed to bring more guns.
I guess.
I mean, that's a way to look at it,
I
I
suppose.
guess.
look, buddy. She's an engineer. That means
A
she
9
solves
millimeter.
problems.
A 9mm bullet could never destroy a fortress unless one threw a fortress mass of bullets at it.
The answer: use a gun. And if that don't work, use more
more.
gun.
Bring more guns. Bring more guns.
Oh my god.
The principle was brutishly simple, but in the world of magecraft where concepts decided supremacy, Toko had created the perfect weapon. The target would be bound until she closed her eyes. In theory, at least, the effects were infinite. No amount of magical energy could ever overcome it, so it was utterly futile to resist using magical energy. Use a gun. Of course, one way to counter it would be to stay out of Toko's line of sight to begin with. The standard tactic against Mystic Eyes were to defeat the user before they were aware of you.
Hit him with the old pocket sand trick.
Pocket sand! There was, however, another way.
Pocket sand.
It was simpler than one
Yeah,
might
pocket
think.
sand.
I swear, if she actually does pocket sand, if she actually does pocket
There's no
sand,
way.
though.
No, there's no way.
There's
There's
no
absolutely.
way. This is Alice
This
we're
is
talking
Alice.
about.
Do you think she
Put some
carries
dirt
around
in your
sand?
eye?
I'm gonna put some dirt in
The
your
bird!
eye.
The bird!
True, the bird.
The bird.
Where's the bird? Where's our star bird?
これで詰めだ
I'm afraid this is checkmate. Any last words?
Snow. Throw some snow.
Alice could no longer see her enemy. Toko's infinite eyes had bound her. All she could All she could make out was a sliver of moonlight.
What's that line? Haha. It's the
What's
bird.
what's that lifeline there?
And a blue streak tracing its way toward her.
Blue streak speeds
Blue
by.
streak, you say?
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Gotta
It's
follow
Sonic.
my rainbow. Anyways, fine. I wish I could say I had no regrets like you. She drew a rune in the air, unleashing a shockwave to tear flesh asunder. The gusts became blades of air that shuddered Alice's overcoat and minced.
Oh,
What? Bird?
bird.
Bird?
Was she the bird this whole time? Actually, wait, no, the bird was there in the room while she was there, so.
Yeah. Ugh. Blue feathers flittered all around. Toko felt something behind her and turned.
Nothing personnel, kid.
5 cat-shaped bells were thrown at her feet. And just as quickly as they shattered to pieces, standing before her was a completely unharmed Alice Kawanji.
そよ風みたいなルーンね。トウコさん、本当
That
に鈍っ
rune
た。
was but a light breeze. Have you really lost your touch, Toko?
セミか。
You
術
used
者
a
の身代わり
double.
になるプロイの
I've
話は
never heard of a
聞いてなかった。
ploy that can take the form of a mage.
ええ。一年のうち
you have now.
365日は役
He's
立つ。
he's useless every other day
ど
of
う
the
してあん
year.
なのが子さん
Becomes
なのか
handy when someone's
私も
trying to
疑
kill
問だ
me.
けど。
To kill you.
殺されることだけは得意なのよ、彼。
So she is the bird.
Is the bird!
Bird.
As if responding to Alice's words, a bird began chirping frantically.
Bird.
An anonymous sacrifice.
She just killed the bird.
Who killed Cock Robin? Echoed into the night, sung out of tune.
So that was what we were trying to
So
find. That
that's
was the
the-
fairy
okay.
tale, or yeah,
Okay.
Who
fairy
killed Cock
tale
Robin?
or nursery rhyme.
Apparently it's a song, I guess, since it's sung. It's a song.
Was that one of them
Uh,
that you looked up?
I don't know. I
don't think
I
so.
don't remember. I don't. I
English
think I
is-
would have made a joke that it was called the Cock Robin.
Oh yeah,
Fair.
yeah, it's one of
Looking
the
up who
silly
killed the Cock Robin, though.
symphonies, and it's also it's a nursery rhyme.
Hmm.
God, we should have seen it coming.
We should have seen the Cock Robin coming.
Yes, we should have seen that big old cock.
All right.
Okay.
ああ、そんな歌もあったな。
Oh, you can listen to it on YouTube Music and Spotify
Neat.
and iHeartRadio.
Ah, that old rhyme.
だがあれは一度に一回しか殺
But
せ
you
ない。
can only kill it once.
二度目はないし。
Not that it would
だとして
matter
も
if it had more than that. The bird squawked a very unbird-like death.
No,
No.
Robin.
You were good. You were Sojiro's only friend. Now you're dead.
Salute.
From behind Alice, the blue robin. From behind Alice, the blue robin fell from its tree, a victim of Toko's mystic eyes.
A noble
See,
sacrifice.
but she said that it's been here for a long time, so I'm gonna give a guess that, like, it's not dead.
Fair.
Probably gonna come back.
So useless.
さて。ではやり
How
直しだ。
about you and I start over?
あとも使えている。これで
Or
終わりにしよ
rather,
う、アリス。
let's end this now.
どの道、こ
You're
の
out of
公園では
options
手
in
が
this
ないだろう。
park.
そうでもないわ。
I don't think so.
確かに。今の私に
Granted,
あなたの
I
まま
I may not be able to break free from your eyes.
けれど。
But
Beauty of his wood and clay, wood and clay.
Oh no.
Wood and clay,
Beauty of his
build it
wood
up The song came from the depths of the earth,
Wicker Man.
stirring a mighty quake to mark the birth of something gargantuan. Did she build a Wicker Man?
No, she built a London Bridge.
I know. Toko needed to throw Alice into an infinite hell before whatever that was could be completed. But she was far too late.
What the?
Whoa.
Okay,
golem.
no,
Holy
that's
crap.
not a bridge. That's
It's
a
a
golem.
London Bridge golem.
The
ground
golem of
bursts to
London
life.
Bridge.
A finger, then another, and another, all rising up like towers. Damn, this is a crazy gas leak, guys.
This
Wow,
is an
what is
insane gas leak.
This is the most insane gas leak I ever did see.
This is the most insane gas leak, you know, before the one that happens in, like, what, 2014 or whatever the fuck the Tsukima is up there. Earth, snow, and brick knitted together, manifesting a giant stone golem. What the hell is this?
Good question.
It's a golem.
What's this freak doing here?
Hey, don't call him a freak. He's very popular.
Toko
in
was
this
so
world.
angry and confused, she could barely gather her thoughts.
Angry and confused. Me too.
The
Me
bridge
too.
giant. The monster from the Meister's fairy tale rose from the ground, ruining Toko's plan. The giant was extremely powerful, but could only be summoned under one condition. It must be in proximity to a natural river. That makes sense.
Right.
That was the monster's one and only condition. But this park was nowhere near one. And on top of that, it was rising up directly between Toko and Alice mid-battle.
The river is the snow.
Yep.
Huh.
I guess that makes sense.
water.
It do be water.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the
there's a
most.
river, all right.
That's the greatest technicality ever.
Well, I suppose river is a bit of an exaggeration. It'll be gone soon. Toko lowered her gaze. She was standing in a puddle of water.
Oh my god, wait, really?
Formed naturally from melting the snow.
Right.
It's not. Seriously.
The scarred red mage was dumbfounded. That was why Alice had used a diddle-diddle before. While the bell could be replenished, they were valuable to Alice. And she had spent 5. Throwing them in an intentional line for the sun runes to destroy.
Oh.
Interesting.
From there, a stream of melting snow.
This do be one of the
Oh
gas
my
leaks
God.
of all time.
One of the gas leaks of all time.
Truly one of the gas leaks. The
Get off the
arms.
concrete.
The arms of the Thamus troll rose up from the stone paving. The monster's torso alone surpassed 80 feet.
Holy crap.
Bro, what?
He's a tall boy.
That's a big
Patter
boy.
matter, kill them!
Patter matter, kill them!
That's what this
Oh
is.
my god. What a this is
An amazing technicality to summon a really OP creature.
I like the statue face that's just in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like the cross that's
The
hanging on
Mages
the side there.
Association needs to nerf this. I think the Mages Association needs to nerf this.
It's so good.
I'd love to see them try. They knock on her door. They're like, Miss Kuanji, we've heard that you have a bridge monster. Yes, I do. Well, we've come to confiscate it. With what army? Pulls out the fucking it's not a wonder snatch. It's a
Bandersnatch.
The Bandersnatch. She pulls out the Bandersnatch. Just, do you want me to take the bottle top off? Because I will. Have a wonderful day, Miss Kuanji. All right. She's like, and that is how you deal with this society. That's how you deal with it.
Easy peasy.
And Naoko's just like, this is why you have no friends. It's.
Who needs friends when you got London Bridge?
God. It's form made entirely out of snow. Stone, not snow. Fuck. Previously, she had created one using the trees of a forest. However, Toko knew instantly the monster before her was at least twice as powerful.
Wait, this thing's made of snow?
No, stone.
No, stone.
Oh, stop it.
Halt! She unleashed her stacked mystic eyes.
The mystic stacks.
They were meaningless at this stage. They had no effect on the giant. As said, mystic eyes can be countered in two ways. The first is to hide oneself from view of the mage. That was the standard response. The other way, however, was devilishly simple, yet 100% effective.
Pocket sand.
In fact, it's less of a way and more of a fact.
Sand.
Mystic eyes cursed a target by focusing on them. However, what if the target was too large to focus on entirely?
Okay, yeah, that is devilishly simple. And deceptive. Cannot see it all. You're too close to see it in full.
Dude, I can't even see it all. Where's its head?
I don't think
I'm guessing
it has
that's its
any.
mohawk of a head.
It's mohawk.
The answer was... one could barely stop a single arm. The giant, unfazed, raised its right arm and swung it down onto the ground, destroying thousands of runes.
Hello.
5 check.
That's the voice of the
We are
giant.
from the planet Duplo, and we are here to destroy you.
Oh, gee.
The demolished stones were then absorbed into its arm, adding to its mass.
Do we really need Alco? Do we really need Alco?
As the mage had said before, no matter how deep the night, these little suns won't sing.
So all Alice has to do is carry around a little bit of water.
Yeah, makes
Someone...
sense. No, that doesn't work though. That's not naturally made.
True. Right. It needs to
It
be a
has to be
natural
natural.
river.
It has to be
right.
natural. Wait, what if you...
It has to be natural water.
What if you get water from a river, put it in a bottle, and use that?
See, but that's still not naturally made. Because you've placed it. You haven't naturally.
Oh,
Let the
okay,
water
so snow is the
melt.
best way.
So what
Yeah,
you
snow
really
is-
need... See, what you really need though is like a chargeable hair dryer.
To melt snow.
Yes.
Are you sure this? Is that really naturally forming if you're using hair dryer?
Hey.
The snow was there
that
before.
Water,
It just wasn't.
the snow was
water.
there before. It just wasn't water yet. That's what she did
Hmm.
here.
There's some weird ass rules to this, but okay.
While the suns might not set, they can be fucking destroyed. They could be
Yes.
crushed under the bulk of a giant's hands.
They indeed could. Indeed, they could.
Nice balls, bro.
Imagine if it was snowing when Sojiro and Aiko first faced against
Oh
Alice.
no. Oh no.
I think they would have died.
Fair enough.
Probably.
Like, properly died.
It would cease to
The
exist.
victory of the battle was decided. The victor of the battle was decided. Toko Aozaki closed her eyes and prepared to escape. The stray dogs began to whine, fearful of the hulking figure before them.
Smash.
You win this one, Alice. Looks like I'm no match for a mind stone after all. Let's pick this up another time, shall we?
No. What? Die.
Do you really think you can escape, Toko?
Oh,
Oh, please, Alice. Give me some credit. I should mention, I don't think I'm the one who needs to escape. There was no hint of bravado in Toko's tone. Even in the face of a titan, she had no means of she had no means of harming. Her confidence was unshakable. The reason being, the opening act's over. Come out, Beo. Beowulf?
Beowulf?
Werewolf.
This was no longer a battle of skill. A fight for survival had begun.
Now the battle of the mind.
Snap
battle.
went Toko's fingers. Oh, so much fun. In response, a beautiful high-pitched melody floated up towards the moon. That did not sound high-pitched or beautiful.
A whist
No.
wing is forbidden! Oh my god.
It echoed all around them. The spiral howl dredged up ancient primal memories. Its source emerged from the shadows and landed next to
There's
the
no way that
mage.
there's an actual werewolf here, right? Oh my god.
There
It's a wolf.
be. Okay, it's
Hi,
a wolf.
Beo. It's Beowulf.
It's Beowulf.
Alice's lip trembled faintly.
I'm
Not
not gonna
from
lie though,
fear.
this wolf looks amazing.
It does look really cool.
That's a nicely drawn
They got
wolf.
it. This is very
It looks
well
like
painted.
it looks like lion-esque, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, the main
Yeah.
guy.
See,
Nope,
here's the thing.
thigh.
If it's a human, if it has a human form, I'm trying to figure out what human it might be. If we've met them.
It's the small golden-haired boy.
You're so fucking right.
Small golden hair. Oh! Oh!
Oh my god, do you think he was trying to lure Sojiro into that building so he could fucking murk him?
Probably.
Potentially? This...
At the very least, like, wait, wasn't Alco there too?
No, that he was
Right.
just he was cleaning. He was cleaning the old school.
Right. Yeah, could be leaving Sojiro there. Or at the very least, just spying on him.
Spying on him. But also he might have just been hungry.
Yeah, he could have also
Oh,
just been
geez.
hungry
Because he had stole
he
their
had stolen
food.
food. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Not from fear, but with admiration once she recognized the creature before her. It was a majestic golden beast. Beyond the domain of both magical and fantastical simply divine. It was a life that should have passed from the world with the age of gods.
Yeah, it's a werewolf. It's a phantasmal beast.
It's a phantasmal werewolf beast. A mystic.
It's a fantastic
Yeah.
piece.
And where shall we find them?
God.
Oh god.
A mystic derived from human wisdom, preserved by thousands of generations of hidden tradition. a recreation of a miracle that once freely walked the earth, the natural enemy of magecraft, able to crush it with ease.
Logic?
Quiet resignation settled over Alice's face. The golden beast charged. This time, she didn't even have a chance to admit defeat.
Wait, I was dead?
Alice is dead?
Alice is not dead. She called Sojiro, remember?
Right.
Right.
She hasn't made her phone call yet.
Oh.
Granted, she might have called him dying, but
Oh, no.
she could hear the beast's breathing in her ear.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, that's blood. It seems she had been unconscious for a short time.
Oh.
Oh, that's a lot of blood. Alice
Oh,
opened her
she
eyes
got mauled.
and took a deep breath. Each cough sent pain shooting through her body. Blood rose from the pit of her stomach, and she spat out the cold ground. When her vision returned, she was able to make out the distant sky, falling snow, and the golden wolf. The wolf panted. It stared at Alice, saliva dripping from its mouth onto her cheek. Razor-sharp fangs lined its jaw. Its fur was glossier than that of any animal she'd ever seen. Brutal, knife-like claws protruded from its massive blood-stained paws. And yet, it did not smell like a beast. Surely the presence of such a noble creature a human would feel like a lesser animal. The battle between Alice and the wolf was over before it had begun. After destroying the troll, it baptized Alice with its wicked claws, giving her no chance to escape. Its side swipe had torn into her abdomen like a sword, carving through her clothes and flesh all the way to her heart.
No!
Damn.
Oh.
Even so, not once did Alice make a sound.
This can't be the end.
The wolf had her pinned and stared at her face. That is actually way bigger than I thought
That's
it was.
a lot larger. Holy crap.
Yeah, that's a werewolf. That is a werewolf.
Ooh.
Yep. Great. Her limbs felt ready to break at any moment.
Please, no.
That was the situation she found herself in. Not fully conscious, Alice stared at her enemy through pained eyes. She felt no fear, only cold reality sinking in. Seeing Alice's demeanor, the wolf suddenly paused, its paws still raised. They looked at each other's eyes. You're bleeding. Doesn't it hurt? The wolf's
the
voice
chime.
came as a surprise.
I like you're using the Mario voice.
Of course I am. I have no other voice.
Fair enough.
I have no other young boy
Fair
voice.
It's Mario.
It's
all Mario.
Mario. Hey, I'm making it more gentle.
Fair.
Mario's is more like, hey, you fucking bitch.
Kill yourself, Noelle.
Kill yourself.
Kill yourself, Noel. Nobody fucking cares. But there was no doubt it had spoken. Or are you just fine with pain? The wolf's voice sounded innocent, almost childlike. In complete contrast with what had happened up until this point, the wolf smiled. By the way, you've got guts, lady. The wolf
Damn,
opened
it's
its
all
mouth
over the
wide
floor.
and clamped its jaw around Alice's neck.
No. Okay,
Bayo!
okay, good.
Toko's tone was sharper than the wolf's fangs. The wolf froze. Miss Toko? He let go and slowly turned his head towards the voice. Didn't I tell you not to finish her off? You trying to make it extra work for me, you mutt? That's the best part.
Wait.
Well, this was a washout. That troll went down like everything else. Talk about a disappointment. God, why do you never take me somewhere cool? This was boring.
Can't we go to an orphanage?
The wolf backed away from Alice. As if no longer interested in his prey. To the golden beast, she was little more than an old chew toy.
How dare you?
So Alice is still alive.
Conscious again, even with all that blood loss and broken bones. You're tough. Do I have the Meister training to thank?
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine. Barely clinging to life, Alice stared at Toko. But not a stare of hatred and defeat, but one of disbelief. Alice simply wondered why Toko had brought such a beast. Pardon me, I should have introduced you. This is the last known werewolf on Earth. He's a werewolf?
He's a werewolf. I can't believe
A
it.
pureblood.
Can't
A
believe we actually
pureblood,
found the
born to an indigenous tribe in the northern European tundra.
Oh,
As you can see, he's a golden mystic, and it doesn't do him any justice to say he merely resembles his ancestors. He didn't have a name, so I called him Beowulf. Pretty apt, right? We called it. We called it.
Damn.
all of you watching right now, like
Make
and
sure you
subscribe.
comment how smart. You have to like, you have to subscribe, you have to tell us how smart we are because we don't
Gotta ring
hear
the
that
bell.
enough.
Gotta ring the
So-
bell.
Feed into my narcissism.
Some of us just had midterms, and we need to feel smart. Come on.
Yes, please.
Alice's face was perplexed, even though she hadn't wavered. She had wavered when she was disemboweled. Oh,
God.
Beowulf. The name of the hero of the heroic giant slayer from Danish legend. Came from Old English, a combination of honeybee and wild beasts. A bear, in other words.
Yeah. I think it's also the where the word berserker comes from.
That makes sense.
In a way.
That would make sense. I do like the version of Beowulf, by the way, where it's said that like no weapon could like hurt the giant, so he literally just stripped down to everything and like wrestled
Right.
him.
Yep.
That's so fucking funny to me.
Heracles Memento.
Truly. Beowulf and Heracles doing the bro arm thing.
Yeah. Fittingly, Beowulf is also a berserker class servant, and similar to the Hassan Isabah, since his name is where the word berserker somewhat comes from, it's not that he's able to be summoned from the class of berserker, but his one of his skills essentially gives him all the positives of madness enhancement without actually being mad.
Great.
We can go into a rage without actually being enraged.
Yes.
So he can.
Nice.
You can talk with him. You're gonna
Talk
actual
with him
decent.
while
You
he's
can actually
destroying stuff.
you can actually have a decent conversation with him.
Love it.
Unlike
While he's
Spartacus,
destroying
who
shit.
who kind of like says stuff but doesn't actually say, but doesn't actually converse with anyone.
All he says is, "I am Spartacus."
I am Spartacus,
Like,
and I'm
that's
going
it.
to kill all oppressors.
That's everything he says.
Beowulf, you can talk with him. You can be like, "Hey, how's it going, buddy?" And he will actually
And be
respond
like,
to you.
Hey, pretty dope. I would say though that Berserker Heracles does kind of respond,
It's just with a lot of
just
yelling.
not with words. it's he's gentle, because I actually really love the very subtle relationship that Heracles has with
Yeah.
Ilya. It makes me very
He-
happy. So
We'll get to that when we play Fate Stay Night.
yeah, eventually.
Eventually.
It's the name of the play for it.
Kind of an incredulous name. What do you mean? It's cute. Perhaps because of the name, or because of the golden beast itself. Fighting the pain, Alice struggled to read Toko. In this respect, she was worse than Alko. Incidentally, Beo called these other mutts in. Naturally, I didn't think they had any effect on a Meister's daughter. For now, at least. Toko's mouth twisted into a grin. Not that warm one Sojiro saw, but the merciless smile of a victor displays to a loser. Okay, here's the thing. I think this dog is the one who scratched
Sojiro?
Sojiro.
And he's gonna be a werewolf. I'm calling it.
No, I don't think he's a werewolf. I mean, there is a werewolf, so, like, I feel like we called that. But I don't think he's a werewolf, because I don't think it goes like that in the Fate series. I don't think you scratch someone.
Right. I mean, yeah.
I think it's more
obviously
like-
it's established that like vampirism is somewhat the same as it is in like most other media, where like biting somebody like turns them into where biting somebody, whether it's a dead apostle or a true ancestor, turns them into a dead apostle. But with that comes like a weird transfer of power. But like so it's not exactly one-to-one, but it is very similar at the very least.
Mhm.
But I'm not sure how lycanthropy works.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Because here's the thing. Like,
Because this is the first
I didn't-
werewolf that I've ever seen in the Nazi verse.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly. So, I don't know.
and
I
like
don't know.
it is absurdly powerful. It destroyed. It just destroyed Alice's giant. We didn't even get to see it. It was that quick.
Mhm.
That is like,
You just killed Alice, and then the giant destroyed.
I mean, because Toko didn't want him to kill Alice.
Oh wait, no. Right.
She's not dead yet.
I thought the giant went away because Alice got knocked down. And
No, it's
mauled.
they said that he.
Gotcha.
No, it said that
Gotcha,
he's
so he-
the one who broke it.
So he murked it. What the fuck?
He murked it.
Murked it.
He murked it.
Well, that's
That
terrifying.
is so pretty.
Yeah.
The Golden Mystic. How could Toko have brought such a creature into the human world?
For context, most phantasmal beasts, that is things like dragons, lamias, griffins, hippogriffs,
Werewolves.
werewolves, are mostly gone from the world. If they are not extinct in the wild, then there is a very small pocket of population of them like scampering around in like non-human lived areas, or like, and like even then, that's probably like single digits,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even like teens, but nothing like substantial. Every single creature is either extinct or retreated to the reverse side of the world. So this being the last werewolf is kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Last dragon you can see.
Yeah.
It's the last unicorn.
Oh god. You really do be the last unicorn.
Come now. It's just supply and demand.
過疎化は人間だけの問題じゃない。
Depopulation is just a human problem.
昔ながら
Their
の
old
生活に
ways were
は
unsustainable,
限界があるらしくてね。
so I brought him from a high,
話し合い
for a
の
high,
末
so I bought
高
him
額
for a
で
high
私が買い取
price.
った
Wow. He was just chilling.
と言ってもあくまで外
Well,
から出す
more
だ
like
け
I
の
had to
権利だ
pay
ね
for the right to bring him out of his cave.
お察しの通り私の
As
髪
you
は
might
ベオ
have
との契
guessed,
約に
I
使い
used my hair for the contract with
自分の
Beo.
髪を使って分身を
I
作
think
るより
I like to
強大な
think of
怪
it
物に
as
縛り付けた
creating an
方が
alliance with a
この件で
beast instead of creating a familiar.
So it's effectively Beowulf is her servant.
Yeah.
In a sense, I suppose.
Discount servant
Discount
Beowulf.
servant.
While she was talking, Toko noticed something strange. An unusual sound. Perpetual sound that tore at the mind. A sound that should not have existed. Oh, okay, that was coming from the game. Fun.
Okay.
And it was coming from the girl's open abdomen.
So, she's dying.
Regenerating already? No. Wait. It's like the movie Alien.
Is the robin gonna come out of her stomach?
What's that smell? Smells like something amazing is gonna happen.
God.
Curious, Beowulf moved closer. Like a puppy examining a new toy. Don't look at it. Stay over there, Beo. Pull yourself together. Toko shooed the mud away with her hand. Beowulf lowered his head meekly and withdrew. I must have trained you wrong, going over a girl's belly like that. Shame on you. So? But how come you're allowed to look? Idiots! I'm a girl, so it's fine.
I mean, kinda sounds like you were bi, so you know.
If Alco had been here, she would have blasted them away for their impotence, just as she did against Flat Snark. You know, I feel sorry for you. How could your Meister mother call herself a parent when she neglected you so much? With her gloved hand, Toko ran her fingers along the wound on Alice's abdomen. A flash of pain ran through Alice's body. Alice had held in her screams, but she finally let out a long breath. She turned her face away in pain or shame. The skin here is regenerating already. So many crests on the bones, veins, even the internal organs.
Wait, what?
Having magical circuits like that from birth is a double-edged sword. They cut incantation time, which is a great boon for a mage. But the more there are, the more pain they bring. Aozakis have crests in one arm. I've got nothing on you. We've got nothing on you, do we? The magic circuits Toko referred to were the inheritance of the Aozaki family passed down by their ancestors. They can only be inherited. Alco had received the ones that were meant for Toko. However,
Ours have its own set of drawbacks.
右腕に刻印をした青子の
The
痛み
pain Alco feels in
残
her
る
right
人間の
arm
体と
is
神秘となっ
the
た右腕と
remainder
が反発
is
す
the
る程度だ
remainder of her human body reacting to being changed into a mystic.
通常の肉体が右腕を否
Her
定し
mundane body rejects her right arm, and that pain is the cost of its deletion.
精神的にも肉体的にも生じる幻痛は
It causes both physical and mental phantom pain, like some original sin that can never be wiped away.
ここまで来る
Still,
痛みも何も
when
あ
you've
るま
come
い
this far, pain becomes trivial.
そもそも生きている実感はあるのか
Makes it difficult to know if you're really alive.
自分が人間だとまだ信じている
Do you still believe you're human?
ああ本当に
Honestly,
お互い
I
非凡な死を持
sympathize.
つと苦労するね
we've both had a harsh time with the extraordinary teachers, haven't we, Alice? Toko took Alice's body in her arms. The wound from Beowulf had mostly healed. Even so, her breathing was shallow, likely due to the pain. Toko gently held the girl's face in her hand.
マインスターには恩があるそれに
I'm indebted to your
私の相手は
your Mindster mother, and my true opponent has only ever been Oko.
Oh, okay.
Lesbianism.
I knew it. I knew it.
Okay.
Creepily by. Creepily by.
Well, that happened.
Alice's lungs pined for oxygen. Toko pressed her lips to hers.
You gonna suffocate Alice with a kiss?
Good lord.
The young girl wriggled,
What the
trying to
fuck?
escape, but Toko held her firmly.
Okay, it's okay.
Beneath the blue moon, the two remained frozen.
This is some horrible shit. This is some Cosby shit.
Then, the sound of swallowing.
What? What happened?
Something solid slid down Alice's throat. With that, she went limp, and her arm
Did you
fell.
feed her poison from the kids? What?
What the poison
Okay.
apple?
After setting Alice down on her side, Toko stood up.
今のは七かまどに手を加えた
I've given you a dose of my own blend of Rowan.
そう簡単に解毒はできない
Not easily
魔力を流せば
contracted.
体の中で
If you
暴
use
発する仕
magical
組みになって
energy,
いる
it'll
から
explode.
気をつけなさ
So
い
do be careful.
ああ
So she planted a bomb
口
in her.
移しは私の趣味だから
Oh,
特に気にすることはない
don't read too much into it. Passing things with your mouth is just something I like to do.
Freak.
Okay.
Freaky.
Thanks, Toko. Real great.
Thanks, Toko.
Oh, goodbye, Cosby.
As she desperately clung to consciousness, Alice looked up at Toko from the ground. The disgrace from the kiss was greater than the pain she felt in her body. Toko began walking away, her golden wolf in tow. Neither looked back to see Alice's hateful glare.
そうそう
Ah,
一つ言い忘
I
れて
almost forgot.
ベオが呼び寄せた野犬たちだけど
Remember those mutts Bayo
公
called?
園の外にまだ
There's a
山
ton
ほ
of
どい
them
るん
around
だ
the
が
park, and unfortunately, they're still
彼らは本
hungry.
来何を口にするべきかを思い出しているベオの野生に刺激されたんだろう
Bayo's an alpha male.
獣はより強
Seeing
い
what
獣
Bayo
に従
did
う
to
も
you
のだ
must
か
have
ら
really fired them up. In a roundabout way, Toko had read Alice her last
No.
rites. In nature, it was common for the weak that could no longer move to offer their bodies up to feed the strong.
じゃあ私は行くよ
Well,
歩
Alice,
くことも
I
満足
think
にで
that's
きないだろう
everything.
が
It's a long
無事
walk.
に帰れるといいね
It's a long walk back, but hopefully you'll make it safely. With a twisted grin, the mage headed into the darkness. As her footsteps faded, the sound of growls grew louder.
Alice could still barely focus her eyes. The hounds looked like monsters out of a picture book. Alice took a deep breath, her consciousness slipping away. The sky was blue, the trees were tall, the park was a graveyard. In the corner of her eye, though, Alice could just about make out a solitary phone booth. The phone rang.
I think we should probably stop here.
Okay.
Because it's almost time for us to stream.
Everyone gets left on a cliffhanger.
God damn it.
Haha.
Well, at least she made it out alive.
Did she?
Question mark.
Did she, Frank?
Did she really?
Are you
Did
sure?
she really?
She's unable to heal herself. She can't defend herself from any of the dogs.
How'd she get to the phone booth then? How'd she get to the phone booth?
Crawl.
She probably crawled.
Yeah, I guess. Crawled to the wolves.
In any
she
case,
was able to get out of there.
Well,
Oh boy.
now we have to wait for Sojiro, the protector.
Sojiro's.
You know. Do you know what? You know what? I bet you the bird is gonna go to him and be like, "Bitch, get your ass to the park right now."
I think so.